Benjamin Akapo.
Bonjour à vous tous. Je vous accueille sur ce programme. Je m'appelle Benjamin Akapo. Thank you for joining the conversation this morning. We call it the AM show. My name is Sweetie Abochi. In fact, my name is Christiana Sweetie Abochi, and she is.
It's okay. I'm Benjamin Akapo, and this morning we want to tell you what the lineup is, why it's absolutely worth waking up to the AM show. We'll start with serving you the AM news, especially on the special voting and everything happening in the lead up to the December 7th elections, because it's 2 more days to go. After that, we'll sit with our guests to review the newspapers. Who's joining us for news review this morning? Lawyer Nana Bediako from the NPP communications team, Dr. Sami Aye from the NDC, and he's spokesman on youth development, as well as Nanaya Sapong from the Movement for Change. They're joining us to review the newspapers. And right after that, Haruna Mumbarak will serve you AM Sports.
Well, from sports, then we segue into our big stories. And of course, today, you know that the Electoral Commission postponed voting in those 2 regions, Eastern and Western regions. Today will be on the ground, 3 days after these 2 regions missed participation in the nationwide exercise. We'll take you there, find out what exactly is happening. Anything, everything you need to know, we'll bring you that right here on the AM show.
Also, 2 major political parties, that is the NDC and the NPP, wind down campaign with final rallies in the Greater Accra region. What does this mean for the fortunes of these 2 leading parties as the police announces road diversions ahead of these mammoth events? It means that if you want to stay in town a bit longer today, you have to prepare for it because roads will be blocked with these rallies. Of course, you are invited to join us with your comments and your thoughts. Across all social media platforms, we are Joy News on TV. And at the tail end of the show, when we open the phone lines, you get to have your say.
And of course, we've been doing that throughout the week. Today will be none too different. But yesterday, speaking about the congestion in town, I had a program in the evening, and going through town was crazy. And you know, sometimes you get stuck somewhere. I remember from last Sunday, and it's the NPP on the road. You get stuck somewhere, and it's the NDC on the road. Like on Sunday, about 4 times. And it's been happening throughout. Late last night, I was somewhere, you know, hosting something. And, you know, even when we're leaving, blaring music, one party on the streets, Charlie. The
party before the polls.
It is what it is.
Today will be a day to look out for. So join us. Let's get into the AM news now, folks. Welcome to the AM show. This is the AM News. Let's get right into the details from our election headquarters. President Akufo-Addo has described as nation wreckers or who purvey religious divisive tendencies. Speaking at a public engagement, the president urged Ghanaians to eschew all forms of divisiveness and forge harmony and social cohesion.
So ye kremoni enti kremofonya nipa na Ghana ayete Christopher kremofo ye nyina tumi tena asomdwemu baako yemu ewo memu de yempe kra ni nipa ebeba edin papemu ebreye wo omemu. We don't want religious conflict and strife in Ghana. We want religious harmony and yena ya bako yempe papemu bia ewo Ghana ha. Ni yempe krofo edin papemu kasa ebewura ya manyo ruemu. People who seek to sow division on religious and ethnic and tribal lines are nation wreckers of our country. We want people who will encourage the unity and the harmony of Ghana, not its divisions. You don't have anything proper to say on behalf of your candidate. Don't raise tribal or religious considerations. Ghana, we are far ahead of that. And that is why we are a beacon of peace of stability, of democratic engagement in the whole of Africa. Yempo bia oba odi kasa kasetia eba ababe say yeman. Imesramu nemendei obia kono kotuna banoma wiase nyina hu se Ghana for yente saa yenie bie ne pebako ye.
The People's National Convention and the Ghana Freedom Party's official declaration of support for the NDC in the upcoming election is a clear sign of the party's victory in the December elections. These are the words of NDC presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama. Speaking on day 5 of his tour of the Ashanti region, he expressed gratitude to the GFP and the leadership of the PNC, including its flag bearer Bernard Mona, who officially joined him on the campaign trail. The Ghana Freedom Party had earlier also declared its support for John Dramani Mahama, and flag bearer of PNC Bernard Mona says the party decided to join John Dramani Mahama on the campaign trail after declaring support for him last week because the vision of the NDC aligns with theirs.
Well, as you can see, I have the Ashanti regional team led by the regional chairman. We have the national youth organizer of our party. We have the general secretary. We have a NEC member, Reverend Samuel J. Debra, the national chairman, and a host of party supporters that are here with us. It is not sufficient to just declare that the PNC is supporting John Dramani Mahama and his effort to become president. It's important that we work with him. So we have been working across the country, and as we got to the Ashanti region to drum up support from our base, we were told that he is coming to a CRC, and therefore we decided to join him to let the whole community know that the PNC members around are entreated to vote for him. So we are working assiduously that declaration, we are confident, will lead to victory for the people of Ghana in 2024. And that is why we are here. Trump have support for John Dramani Mahama, so he become the next president of Ghana, to take us out of the economic and social quagmire we find ourselves in.
John Dramani Mahama did not miss the opportunity to throw a jab at his opponent, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, referring to the commissioning of the E-Gate at the Kotoka International Airport. He said, quote, "Digital gate did not open for the digital man," unquote. And this was in reference to a moment during the event when the E-Gate reportedly delayed in opening for the vice president. Here's more.
Yeah, man, penya bedi odikan eko Emma MPP eko abato no. Ose afe ya jetum se ukuta Ghana card utimi di kutukwan ko abrochire. Na sa asemo kan no no nankasa nim se oboa. Immigration so for so be so eka se no kre. Na enra asese mesiye machine se uba omaimu a na opentema electronic into ujina nim na wode wo passport eto so etimi kan wo passport no na akase twam na bie gate no twam na saade no ewo airport bebre na mente se yediesi airport a omampenya na bede chire eko bia no ebi se eyade a airport bia omode to ho na Mr. Digital opeso bia hu so ya Mr. Digital odon kwa ojai ni bibia se sa electronic gate no ko bia no ena ode ne Ghana card eto so gate say MBA or the atoso gate say MBA. And the Profokasam Niamekan said the digital gates didn't open for the digital man.
Now, the Upper West Region branch of the National Democratic Congress has set a target of winning all 11 parliamentary seats in Saturday's polls. The governing New Patriotic Party, on the other hand, is aiming to secure at least 7 seats in the region. Currently, the opposition NDC holds 8 out of the 11 parliamentary seats in the Upper West region. A total of 33 individuals have filed to contest the elections, including one female candidate, Aisha Salifu Dagati. While the WAS Central constituency has 4 aspirants, the remaining 9 constituencies each have either 2 or 3 candidates. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam provides a detailed look at the election slated for Saturday.
Former Interior Minister Ambrose Derry, also known as a boss, will lead the MPP charges in the Upper West region to Saturday's general elections. He will be hoping to win for the 3rd consecutive time to represent the people of Nandom.
The people of Nandom deserve another term with me. And don't forget that Nandom has never voted for my presidential candidate. And therefore, they haven't seen my full potential. They should vote for my presidential candidate, and then I'll move on.
Ambrose Derry is facing a much older candidate from the NDC in former Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, Richard Kumere, who is hoping that Lady Luck will smile on him for the 3rd time after failing on 2 previous attempts.
Unlike the previous one, we are taking it. You know, it is Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, who created the district for Nandom. That's why I am able to stand here and talk to you.
Leader of the Upper West Parliamentary Caucus, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelepu, is seeking his 5th term in Parliament against Haji Audu, whom he defeated 4 years ago with little sweat.
So MPP is the truth of the lies we have been telling you all the time. It has told us lots of lies. It is the definition of a party that does not tell the truth. And it is symbolized in the person representing the party now. And we are telling everybody, we are going to vote for a change. Vote for change. What are we looking for? We are looking for change.
In 2016, Dr. Pelepu won by just a whisker against one municipal chief executive, Isaku Tair Momin, but increased his victory margin against the Lemani Republic starlet by over 6,000 votes.
Who are lacking opportunity. I am here to help them, to lead them, to get them jobs to do. I'm here today to bring hope to this constituency. I'm here today to let them know that women and children have a future.
Next battleground is in the Sisala East, where history and tradition is against Deputy Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Amidu Chinia Isaku. It is a swing seat. No incumbent member of parliament has been able to win 2 consecutive terms. Amidu Chinia is however hopeful despite the odds being against him.
The work I have done in the last 4 years as MP, coupled with the work the former MP Honorable Rudan has done, and the work of our president, the unprecedented development we have experienced in Sisala East, I have no doubt in my mind that on the 7th of December, the people of Sisala East will renew my mandate as a member of parliament in the 9th Parliament of Ghana.
In between him and that 2nd consecutive term is his paternal grandfather and the country director for Virtue Foundation, Mohamed Issa Batagalia.
We are convinced that the nation builder, coincidentally, John Dramani Mahama is seen as a nation builder. By our name, we are Sisale. Sisale literally means that builders. We want to join hands with him as a Gonja man, with Chairman General supporting us strongly to build Ghana, build Sisale East, and establish Gualumbale to a level that will invite investors to open up the economic opportunity.
They both failed from Bogobale. In neighboring Sisala West, there is going to be a repeat of the last elections as incumbent member of parliament Mama Sakparu, who is seeking a 2nd term, comes up against a former DCE of the area, Salfu Naluwi. Another battleground is the Dafima Bure Isa constituency. Geodetic engineer and DBI-DCE Nadi Moro Sanda is trying his luck for the second time against Parliament's deputy ranking member for health, Dr. Sebastian Muninso Sandare. In the Wa East constituency, Parliament's deputy ranking member on agriculture and cocoa affairs, Dr. Godfrey Seru Jasao, comes up against his former colleague lecturer at the University of Development Studies and Wa East DCE, Dr. Muhammad Suleiman Kandia Eura. Former Upper West Regional Minister Bid and Waters Mazieden will pitch his strength against MCE for Laura Jacob Derry. In the West and Jiriba constituencies, Superintendent retired Peter Lanchine-Tubu and Clayton Sedu Dapala appears to have much easier burden in their contest against West constituency vice chairman of the MPP, James Perfate and Isa Salifu respectively. Same could be said between the battle of the former hospital administrator and incumbent member of parliament, Anton Mankarasuma, and Kambotu Francis Xavier. The NDC in the Upper West region, led by its regional chairman, Abdul Nasser Sani Bunas, has set up a target of Agenda 1111 aims at winning all 11 parliamentary seats in the region. The MPP, on the other hand, led by Chairman Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahman White, are aiming for at least 7 of the seats in the region. The NDC currently holds 8 out of the 11 parliamentary seats in the region. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wah!
Away from the Upper West region, the Central region is known for its unpredictable voting trend and has become a key battleground in general election. The region is viewed as a decisive factor due to its lack of clear allegiance to either the NPP or the NDC. With just 2 days until the 2024 general elections, regional correspondent Eric Asante visited some key battlegrounds and has come through with this report.
The key deciding constituencies that are typically classified as swing are Abra Asebu Kwaman Kesi, Esikuma Odobin Brakwa, Ewutu Senya West, Cape Coast North, Gomoa Central, and Gomoa East constituencies. The Gomoa East constituency is currently held by the NDC's Peto de Graaf Desmond, who won with 36,637, beating his closest rival, Kojo Asemeni of the MPP, who pooled 35,873. Some of the constituents have started calling for the return of Kojo Asemeni. But a communication member of the NDC in the constituency, Papa Keja, says despite Desmond's government not being in power, he believes the MP has done enough for the constituent to repose confidence in him.
Sinto kakra Abama Desmond anko fumala kafsafanu wanye juma emiti mu lempole na ba nyipa wa na mu waye juma amre nyipa ko na sanso onyame ni hata dentre mo somfo papa kadame kadame no me kadame na ma ka tra fatamande se nyipa wa ba nyipa wa wonduma ye ku fom. But
the MPP parliamentary candidate for the area, Kojo Asemeni, thinks otherwise.
So, under the pretense of, initially he started by saying that his government is not in power, so his common fund is not being given to him. And then myself and my team, we activated the Right to Information Act. We invoked it and we called for the expenditures that he has made with his common fund. Our campaign is gaining traction. People are understanding what we are putting across.
The current NDC MP won the Gomoa Central seat with a 764 margin, making the constituency a dicey one on 7th December. Just a few kilometers away from the Gomoa Central constituency is the Ewutu Senya West constituency. It's a battle between Communication Director at the Jubilee House, Eugene Ahen, and current MP Gisela Abutui. No single parliamentary candidate has won the Utu Senya seat back-to-back since the inception of multi-party democracy in Ghana. Will the status quo remain, or the narrative will change on December 7?
I'm choosing John Mahama and then Gizela because when NDC come to power, they help us.
MPs no UGI na metro amano. UG for no metu ma banam. Isante UG momo atu pi na senya bre kwa no for na meja da ni jada kan ba ka to UG momo na ni. Momo ko papa.
The constituency, which was carved out of the Wutu Senya constituency in 2012, has 7 major towns which hold the key to the outcome of the election. They are Senya Breku, Ewutu Breku, Ewutu Bodrase, Obratre, Bontrase, J. Kodria, and Yayensiako. Incidentally, some of the constituents are engaged were still yet to decide who they would vote for in the presidential election.
President but for parliamentary President is there no decide but me yobia make a change pasa if send there
Another constituency which has seen most political actors crisscrossing one another is the Abra Asebu Kwaman Kesi constituency. The seat is currently held by the MPP's Elvis Morris Donko, who won the last election by 176 votes, beating his main challenger, Felix Ofosukwachi of the NDC. Felix Ofosukwachi faces a new entrant, Etudru Kwame Nyante. While some of the constituents believe it is time for Felix, others believe the new entrant, Etudru, deserves the nod.
Half parliament to hold. 2020 a mistake, mistake. But this time,
the Cape Coast North constituency also promises to be keenly contested by the current MP Kwamina Mintanyakun of the NDC and Eko Ewusi of the MPP. In the Cape Coast North constituency, the Duakro and the Abakam communities are noted for voting massively for the NDC. A path most of them say they will not depart from.
John Mahama, Maria Matuaso Maranga, Yanfia Moliba, and Semetuma Bama NDC.
The University of Cape Coast and the Cape Coast Technical University often serve as a stronghold for the NPP. Those who support the NPP say it is possible for Eko Ewusi to win the seat.
For here in the Cape Coast North, as a student of UCC, I cast my votes for Honorable Eko Ewusi because I've seen the good work he's doing, even though he's not a sitting MP, but he has been of great help to we the students, but not only the students of UCC, even the Cape Coast and Training College as well.
With over 1.75 million registered voters in 3,637 polling stations, the region has often held the keys to who wins the presidential pool. We cannot predict which of the political parties will win the region, but we can state for a fact that the region will fiercely be contested. Eric Asante, Joy News.
In other stories, the Peace Council in the OT region says it is poised to ensure peace during and after the December 7th elections. The council has been engaging some stakeholders at Kajebi, one of the hotspots in OT region, and there's more in the following report.
The participants were drawn from the church leadership, traditional leadership, the NCC, political parties, persons living with disabilities, the district assembly, and the police service. The meeting deliberated on how these agencies and individuals can ensure peace during and after the December 7 polls. Innocent Agbelusu, the regional director for social welfare in the OT region, says the vulnerability of persons living with disability increases when violence erupts, hence the need to ensure peace during and after the polls.
In the absence of peace, many vulnerable groups such as women, children, persons living with some disability, persons who are terminally sick, and other vulnerable people will become even more vulnerable and they will suffer the consequences. And so it is important for us to send this message out to everybody who has a stake in this election. And I think all Ghanaians have a stake in this election that we are coming to do that. Let's give peace a chance. Election is not about war. Election is about making your choice. And so let's all embrace the peace messages that have been churned out so far.
He has also called on the vulnerable not to allow themselves to be used by any politician to foment trouble on election day.
Take actions to make this thing very, very, very peaceful. I mean the election. But most importantly, my brothers and sisters who are persons with disability, who are living with any kind of difficulty, people who are terminally ill, don't go and cause any trouble. Because the law doesn't have an eye. The law will definitely punish anybody that goes against it. And so, if you are already vulnerable, why do you go cause trouble and putting yourself in more vulnerability situation? At least, let's uphold the principle of peace. Let's live as brothers and sisters so that at the end of this year's election, we'll say that, oh, no single life is lost in the name of election.
The two main political party representatives, the NDC and the MPP, also signed a peace pact as a commitment to ensuring violence-free elections, at least in the constituency.
Each party that signed the pact is telling Ghana and the whole world that they are committed to peace throughout the election process.
Peter Senu for Joy News.
KJB account constituency.
Hypertensive patients have been urged to stick to their medication for better health. The call was made during a health screening exercise organized by the Central Regional Minister. There's more in this report.
Hundreds of residents in Asin Breman took advantage of the free health screening exercise, which is a Central Regional Minister's special initiative. The exercise recorded over 200 participants. Speaking at the event, the Acting Director of Health in the Asin North District, Dr. Asari Bobe, cautioned against self-medication.
We are grateful to our Regional Minister, Honorable Marigold Hassan, for choosing Asin North District for this community screening. In all, we screened over 200 community members. And out of the 200 community members we screened, majority of them were the elderly. Most of them were over the age of 60 years. And some of the conditions we encountered were hypertension. Probing further, we noticed most of them were hypertensive on medications. But the issue is, anytime they run out of medications, they don't go back to the facility. So they self-medicate or take herbal medication. So we advise the elderly to always go to the hospitals for refill of medication, since most of them had active national health insurance card.
Charles Opoku, the MPP candidate for Asin North constituency, thanked the regional minister for the initiative and promised to mitigate the health challenge in the area when given the opportunity.
Going to some of these health centers to check our status and all that is very difficult for them because of issues of finance and all that. So after discussion with the regional minister, we saw it right to come here and then just give them the assistance that was needed. We have only one health center at Asin Kushia. We don't have one here. We don't also have one at Chiano. Yeah, so from Kushia, you can only move to Asin Asempani, where we have the Presbyterian clinic. So yes, we don't have such facility here to take care of the people. But, you know, this is one of the reasons why we want to take charge. We are going to support them and then leave them one of these health facilities here.
Let's get into our business update now with Benjamin Akakbo.
Welcome to business. We start with fuel price increments as more oil marketing companies are increasing the prices of petroleum at the pumps. This comes despite an earlier industry data which suggested that prices should have gone down marginally from this week. George Riafe now reports.
Some of the oil marketing firms engaged by Joy Business said they will go ahead to review prices at the pumps in the coming days. This is based on some industry developments that have resulted in adjusting prices to prevent the situation from getting worse due to happenings in the industry. Some of the players had initially told Joy Business that they were prepared to hold on with any price increase, as others considered reduction in prices. Again, the decision by Shell and Total Energies to increase prices could force other oil marketing companies, which were initially hoping to hold prices, to reconsider their decisions. It is interesting at this time, some major indicators are going down. For example, the Ghana cedi is stabilizing while prices of finished petroleum products also declining on the international market. It will also be interesting to see the margin of reduction by more than 150 oil marketing companies in the country.
In our second story, the country's total earnings from export have gone up marginally for the third quarter of 2024. The Ghana Statistical Service puts the amount at $4.9 billion. There's more in this report.
Gold was the major driver behind the surge in Ghana's total export earnings ending September this year. It contributed over 60% of total exports for the period. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, total gold export amounted to 11.6 billion cedis. Crude oil followed, generating significant earnings for the country from July to September 2024. The top 5 exports, gold, crude petroleum, cocoa paste, manganese ore, and tuna, collectively accounted for 83.2% of total exports. On the import side, Ghana spent $4.7 billion from January to September this year, resulting in a trade surplus of 3.9 billion cedis. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna-Enim provided further insight into these developments.
In the third quarter of 2024, the total trade value was 145.7 billion Ghana cedis, and this 145.7 billion Ghana cedis comprised 74.8 billion Ghana cedis in exports and 70.9 billion Ghana cedis in imports. On the face value of the total trade value, Ghana recorded for the fourth consecutive time a trade surplus of 3.9 billion in the third quarter of 2023. Since the first quarter of 2023, we've been recording trade surplus starting with 6.1 billion Ghana cedis in the second quarter of 2024 and 3.9 billion Ghana cedis in the third quarter of 2024. We started the year with a trade surplus of 11.5 billion Ghana cedis, and although we're still recording trade surplus, we are seeing marginal decreases in the trade surplus in the last 3 consecutive months.
Meanwhile, United Arab Emirates emerged as the top export destination for the third quarter of this year, accounting for 25% of all commodities that were exported from July to September 2024.
Well, I came, I saw, and I drew the curtains on your business updates. That's a wrap. Handing over back to Sweetie Abochi.
You conquered indeed, Benjamin. Thank you for bringing us business update. And that's a wrap for the AM News Bulletin on the AM show. But guess who's joining us for News Review? Nana Bediako is a lawyer and a member of the NPP communications team. Dr. Sami Aye speaks for the NDC on youth development. And Nanaya Sapong is with the Movement for Change. Please stay. News Review comes up next. I've been joined by 3 gentlemen representing various political parties and independent presidential candidates. In the studio with me this morning is Nana Bediako. He's a lawyer and speaks for the NPP, part of the NPP communications team. Dr. Sami Aye, NDC spokesman on youth development, and Nana Sapong from the Movement of Change. Nana Sapong, welcome to the program. Doc, and Nana, welcome to the program. Thank you. Okay, so usually we'll give you, our guests, a minute and a half at most 2 minutes to walk us through any topical issue that you want to reflect on. I want to start with you, Nana Bediako.
Yes. All right, my lady.
First of all, I would say a very good morning to your cherished viewers. My very, 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 in fact, very good friend, Nanaya. We were in the same political party, but he or they decided to abandon us. And a very good morning to my brother as well. All right. What I would like to say...
That they abandoned you?
Pain as in giving them money?
No, I mean, are you in pain?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
At least when you compare even the strength of a butterfly or a fafranto to that of an elephant, you will know what it is. So the point is, okay, now back to what...
That was 30 seconds. You have 1 minute more.
Really? Okay. In fact, what I would like to tell our Ghanaian brothers or sisters is that when it comes to politics and voting, at the very top, all politicians at the very top of politics, we are one. I represent some of these NDC people in court as their lawyer. Some are aides. I can even make mention of one Richard Ruby. He comes here often. I am his personal lawyer. So you see, to be honest with you, politics shouldn't divide us.
Okay.
We are one.
All right.
We eat together.
Okay.
Richard Ruby would not have cause to think that if we are eating or if I go to visit him in his house and then we are eating together at a table and he gets up, I'll drop something in his food or something.
Thank you, Nana Bediako. So your point's
this
been made.
Just but
yeah.
some at least you left me hanging.
No, it's okay. Once we get into the conversation, I'm sure you have time to share more thoughts with us.
All right.
Dr. Aye.
Yes,
your take now.
Thank you very much. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to yourself and my co-panelists. Look, yesterday, for the past 3 months, I've received several calls from personnel of the National Service scheme, complaining that they have not been paid. Whilst they are reeling under this intense economic hardship. Yesterday, we were informed that officials of the National Service Authority have taken over this country in that they have bloated the system of the National Service Authority with minimum of 50,000 ghost names.
And you came by this information how?
Oh, it was on social media. In fact, it was the same reason.
Did you verify?
Hold on. It was the same reason why the National Service Authority actually went to court to secure an injunction to prevent that document from being leaked. It was the Fourth Estate, a revered investigative, body in this country, decided to air the scandal. At the end of every month, because of this loot, because of this grand scheme, persons in the MPP, and I believe it is intended to fund the MPP campaign.
Wow. Money
yes,
from National Service
they are getting 28 million Ghana cedis a month, 280 billion cedis a month, because of ghost name, fake identities.
All right.
In fact, they actually got fake student identification numbers to actually align those monies to. We live in a country where today people are suffering, but government officials are looting this country as if there's no tomorrow.
Okay, Dr. Samia,
that's fund their campaign.
That's your time now.
And I believe that when this conversation goes on, we'll go into it.
Yes,
sure,
thank you.
sure.
Nana Asapo.
Shidi.
2 minutes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And a good morning to Ghanaians, the good people of Ghana, who are ready to go into the polls on Saturday. And they are ready to make the change that Ghana is actually seeking for. First of all, I would want to thank Ghanaians on behalf of Alan John Kojo Tremantin for the goodness and the kindness that they have shown him and for that level of acceptance that they have taken him in, and that on Saturday they would be doing the needful. By the grace of God, we have life, and the Constitution has made it possible that we go to the polls on Saturday, and we have been given a divine opportunity to choose between corrupt leaders and a Christ-like leader in the person of Alan Tremantin. We have an opportunity, a divine opportunity given us to choose between destructive leaders who would take galamsey money and destroy our water bodies and destroy our lives, and somebody who thinks about the youth and development. We have an opportunity on Saturday to choose between oppressors and a person who is more of a unifier, somebody who is in and ready to deal with the issue of a winner takes all.
Okay.
On Saturday, we have an opportunity to make Ghana rise again. And this is a divine opportunity that we ought to take.
All right,
if not, then we would be suffering for the next 4 years. I will entreat all Ghanaians that do not reject the cloth and the monies and the food that they would deliberately and irresponsibly share, because it is our money that they have looted and they are going to share. Take it and do the needful. Vote for an incorruptible Alan Tremantin.
Right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I see you. The rhetoric of a Christian leader has evolved to Christ-like leader. Now you're comparing Alan Tremantin to Christ.
No, a Christ-like leader is somebody who has the characteristics.
I remember about 4 or 5 months ago, we made statements about votes for a Christian leader, and everybody condemned that.
We didn't say a Christian leader.
Yeah.
They said a Christian
They said a
leader.
Christian, all right.
We are talking about a Christ-like leader,
That's
somebody who has the characteristics
No,
of
let's get into the newspapers. I have the Daily Graphic newspaper. I like what they've done this morning with the front page. Let's get into it and see what stories are here. Latex foam supports graphic for elections coverage. No guilty verdict in JB Danko Edu's murder. Sexy Don Don to be retried, rather. Ghana votes Saturday. We've already started talking about this and what's at stake for us, what this election means to us as Ghanaians, unraveling complexities of legal interpretation. And vote massively for Mahama, NDC to build Ghana. Lodina Mahama says, avoiding ICC intervention. This is a story I want to do briefly. AG urges Africa to consolidate democracy. Now, Ghana's Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Yeboadame, has urged African countries to consolidate democracy in their respective jurisdictions in order to avoid conditions that require interventions from the International Criminal Court. Quote, when democracy reigns and is practiced in its true form, with the citizens feeling a sense of fulfillment of the entitlements of citizenship, that's free expression, security, adherence to constitutionality, and so on and so forth, without attempts to manipulate same concerns about the commission of genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and all that will be non-existent. That is what the Attorney General is saying. So he's urging all African countries to consolidate democracy. I'll come to you to reflect on this, gentlemen, in a bit. Why you should attend the Situation All-White Party on December 24th. We'll deal with Christmas after the elections. Muslim hold Thanksgiving prayer session for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's stay on this a bit. A Thanksgiving and prayer session has been held as a national mosque at Kanda, Accra, in honor of presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The ceremony took place on Tuesday evening and was interspersed with Quran recitals and so on and so forth. So we've seen a lot of these presidential candidates going for prayers. So looks like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has also gone for the Muslims to say a word of prayer for him. I won't let down Asante Man, says Dr. Mahmoud, former President John Dramani Mahama. The presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, has made a promise to voters in the Ashanti region that he will deliver on his commitments if elected into office on Saturday. Let me pause here and come to you for your quick reflections on these three stories, and then we continue. I'll start with you, Nana Bediako.
All right, my lady. With respect, I would like to touch base on what my good brother just said regarding the NSS.
Yeah.
You see, you sit on national television, you make this wild allegation. You get it? Look at the angle with which I came from, and that of Nanaya. And you see the kind of people we are dealing with? You ask a simple question as to his source of information. He made mention of social media. You get it? We lived in this very country where we had a national service scheme boss in the name of Pesa White, who was under investigation. Your own multimedia, that's the Joy FM or Joy News. One gentleman by name Fred Smith did an investigation regarding the rot under the NSS. I have it here. People were going through investigations where over hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians.
As at 2022, I know that they said they had saved the country about 112 million from ghost names from the NSS.
Thank you.
I know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
You have to move on.
No, but the fact is, you see, the essence of communication is to pass information from one end to the other. All that they are doing is just to attack and just rubbish everything just in a way to consolidate a certain gain. You see it on national TV.
All right, let's put a pin.
This is part of the misinformation and disinformation.
He was not able to verify or confirm.
So
that's gone. Let's not spend any time on it. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Oh, yeah, my lady, that's fine. Okay. That's fine.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So I talked about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia going to the mosque for prayers. I talked about Ghana going to the polls on December 7th. That is just Saturday. And the Attorney General urging African countries to consolidate democracy. Okay. Your reflections on this briefly.
With respect to the kind of person we are bringing forth to contest under the ticket of the NPP, as in Dr. Bawumia, you could see clearly the religious tolerance. He moves with the Christendom, he moves with the Islamic religion or what have you. You could clearly see when it's on Fridays, he goes to the mosque. There are times you could see him going to other churches just in a way for prayers and to clearly identify himself.
As what? A Christian or a Muslim?
As a son of God. Because don't forget, Abraham had 2 children. We had Ishmael and we had who? Isaac.
Yeah.
All of them came out from the loins of Abraham. But what do we see here in Ghana? A very astute, charismatic leader making this statement to the effect that you shouldn't vote for somebody who is a Muslim. Are Muslims not humans?
Okay.
And look at how MPP goes about doing his own things. As in, we take either a Christian and we pair him with a Muslim, because Ghana more or less is a secular state. Yes. Even though the Christians are much...
I would have used cosmopolitan because you're leaving out the African traditional religion and other small... They're atheists. In terms of religious affiliation,
we are more or less like a secular...
Wrap up for me.
Hey, my lady, this is your what with this one.
You
see, okay, so all that I'm saying is that let us try as much as possible to tolerate each other. This religious sentiment and religious divisiveness ought to be scrubbed off. And now on the issue of this ICC thing or something, you see, clearly, when you live in an environment where there's free flow of expression of clearly democratic principles, people having the right to vote, where EC declares an election and the results in favor of a particular person, and you have an ex-president who goes on BBC to say that where elections are conducted and people snatch this kind of ballot boxes and the military moves in to shoot, my lady, with respect, what picture are we pointing or painting outside?
Okay,
and now,
hold on.
Please, let me land. You see, when has it ever happened here in this country that we had elections and the military moved in to shoot at people? Let us stop all these things. The kind of desperation.
The story is, the Attorney General is saying that if we have, if we are not oppressing citizens' rights, the right to expression, right to do whatever the democratic dispensation of the country stipulates for us as citizens, then there won't be crimes that draws the attention of the ICC.
Yes.
And you're saying?
I am saying that when you live in a country where, as part of the democratic principles and elections, expressing your views or something where elections had been declared for a particular person, I go to vote.
But
I've expressed, I'm coming, I go to vote. I've expressed my civic right, not through my mouth, but through my tongue, to say that this is the person that I'm voting for. You get it?
Would you say the case of Ghana reflects these things that the Attorney General is saying briefly?
Rightly so.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So citizens are free to express themselves. We are not being gagged. Journalists are not being attacked every day. When we are trying to fight against illegal mining, people protest and they are arrested. All these things, they mirror citizens' freedom in a democratic state for you.
My lady, one thing you should also not lose sight of the fact is this. Where your freedom ends, another person's own begins. And wait, I'm coming. No, let me, you didn't get the input. Okay, all right, that's fine.
Yes.
Let's
go. Thank you very much. Please, I made it clear on this platform that the petition to the special prosecutor about this National Service Authority scandal was spearheaded by the National Media Commission. Media Foundation for West Africa. Don't you know Media Foundation?
Doc,
I stated. Yes. Oh no, it is important.
If you have evidence to back this, what I know.
Yes, I can send it to a producer.
Yes. I think in April thereabouts.
Please.
And they said the app has already removed about 14,000 names from the NSS.
Hold on. They say the devil lies in the details.
Yes.
The Media Foundation for West Africa has petitioned the Office of Special Prosecutor yesterday, and I can send the documents to your producer.
Okay.
That the National Service Authority has been dogged with massive corruption. In that, at the end of every month, they make an average of 28 million Ghana cedis, 280 billion cedis, because they have,
million or billion? You said
280 billion cedis, so 28 million Ghana cedis at the end of every month. And my brother says what?
And I'm saying to you that on this platform right now, I'm unable to confirm
I'm saying that I will send the documents
so let's
to you.
move on from that.
No problem.
So we don't spend time
no problem. And so it is a fact. It is a fact.
If you say so yourself, let's move on.
Don't worry. Look, where we have reached as a country, I'm surprised that we are talking about religious inclinations here. Whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Christian, you are under this unfavorable, harsh economic conditions. There is no doubt about it.
Okay.
Fuel that sold for 14 cedis for 1 gallon in 2016 is now 70 cedis. Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, you buy it at 70 cedis. $1, which sold at 4 cedis in 2016, is now 17 cedis. Look, the 1 million Ghanaians who lost their monies through the domestic debt exchange program. Don't we have Christians in them? Don't we have Muslims in them? So while we have reached, it's not about any religious inclination. It's not about who takes prayers for anybody. It's about bread and butter. There are over 2 million young people in this country who do not have jobs according to the Ghana Statistical Service. Don't we have Muslims or Christians in it? So it is about what you eat. It is about the economy.
But we've seen former President John Mahama also go for prayers.
That's why I'm saying that, of course, former President Mahama is a Christian.
Yeah.
Dr. Bawumia is a Muslim. So whether it takes prayers from Christians, that's why I don't even want to do the religious debate. It is about the economy. 8 years ago, 4 years ago, what was the state or the quality of your life? What is your quality of life today? If you needed $1 4 years ago or 8 years ago, how much was it? What is it today? That is it.
Okay.
The head of Ghana's economic management team, as we speak, is Dr. Bawumia.
All right.
In fact, President Akufo-Addo
He's deviating from.
Please. Are we not discussing the election?
Please. Go on.
Please, while you were talking, I was quiet.
Go on.
I gave you the space.
All right, that's fine.
You should wrap up for me in about 30 seconds.
Look, the man who has ensured that Ghana's economy is where it is today is Dr. Bawumia. In fact, President Kufuor stood on a platform in 2018 during the State of Nations address and said the man who is managing Ghana's economy is the brilliant economist, Dr. Bawumia. But today, because Ghana's economy has been destroyed, he has reached for the next rat hole.
Well,
he has run away from the economic discussion.
People would argue that the ruling party is arguing that we are actually recovering.
How? Please.
And they will tell you that the
Do you recover
inflation,
with a dollar at 17 cedis? Do you recover at Ghana's debt as a?
I will come back to you.
Please, there's no justification for this.
Let's hear you.
The Attorney General said that he's urged African countries to consolidate democracy.
Yeah.
I'm quoting.
Yeah.
In their respective jurisdictions in order to avoid conditions that require interventions from the International
Criminal
Court. And in another breath, he has said that he commends the President of the International Court, saying that the court is only bound by the law and will not change the course of its actions due to threats, be them political or another nature. Alfred Odame said this. He said this at the back when, in his own country, the court is interfering with the actions and activities or administrative procedures of another arm of government. He's saying this at the back end where he is able to go to court, and the court, Ghanaians, we think that is well packed, and the court decides to do what they want to do. And if you look at the index that are in now, the court should have been the only place where Ghanaians will run to. But really, with the recent happenings in the courts of Ghana, do you think that anybody has so much trust in the Ghanaian judiciary system that should there be issues of elections, somebody would want to run to the court?
You don't think so?
I do not think so.
Okay.
And that is why most political players are now saying that by hook or crook, elections will be won at the polling stations. Because in my view, the court has positioned itself in such a way that the trust we had in the courts before is no longer the same. The body language of the court, the persons who are on the bench, is not so attractive to make us present our cases to them. And that is why Alan Tremantin is saying in his great transformational plan. And sometimes I wonder, when you are given an opportunity to make a case, then we want to deviate. Because the judiciary is part of our system. And Alan is saying that he would enhance the administrations of justice. Alan is saying that he would introduce a legislation cap where we will not go to pack the court with our favorites, where we will not go to pack the courts with persons who, if you are able to take off the veil, you would see political colors, where we would not pack the courts with persons who would want to interfere with activities and procedures of other arms of government. Sweetie, says that when he's president, he would amend certain sections of the Constitution. And this is what is going to enhance judicial administrative processes.
Okay, so you're of the view that what the Attorney General is preaching is virtue, but we in his home country
but vice. That is what it's been.
Okay.
If we would want to avoid persons running to the international court, if we want to avoid the interventions of the international courts in our judicial system, then we should be able to do things right.
Thank you.
But until then, what he's saying cannot hold.
Thank you. And I want to come for your paper, but I know you have some quick reflections in about a minute, and then you take us through your paper.
Okay, all right. So let me start with my good brother, Nanaya. He made mention of the fact that John Kujo Alancha, His Excellency being the fact that former ambassador to the United States of America, has indicated in his great transformational book or agenda that he would amend certain sections or certain articles in the Constitution. He cannot. It by means of referendum. He cannot just get up within the 4 years and say that this is what I intend doing. It is never done. On the issue of the package...
Are you saying that he cannot review the Constitution?
He's not saying
if
he's going to do a constitutional referendum. He's saying he's amending certain articles in the Constitution.
He cannot.
But we amend constitutional provisions all the time.
We amend constitutional provisions every time, please.
Which constitutional provisions have
Ghana?
Well,
you cannot.
Nana Bediako, sorry.
You cannot. You cannot.
Amendments of articles.
Okay, I don't think that we should spend time probing what Alan Shamantin's team want to do when they come to power.
On the issue of the perception at the judiciary, where he made mention of the fact that the men and women there seemingly, it's more or less like not attractive or something. You see, when you go on that tangent, you might be wrong.
But the recent Afrobarometer report says that there's waning trust in the judicial system. The EC, even the politicians, parliamentarians, there's data to back that. That's why they don't...
You see, let me land. You see, there's this justice of the Supreme Court by name Puaman JSC. Very astute, very intelligent justice of the Supreme Court. You get it? But he was appointed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He was by then, I think, either PNC secretary or something. But you see, the law is the law. You get it? Irrespective of the fact that the person is more or less like had contested or had been on the ticket of a political party where you seemingly would have to take off the veil to identify which political party. You see, more or less, when you go on that tangent, it's like somebody telling you that take this thing and go and vote for me. You're insulting the person's intelligence.
Right. Be that as it may, we have data from the recent Afrobarometer report that says that Ghanaians are losing trust in the judiciary. That's what I'm saying. So let's get into your paper now.
When you, I'm coming to my lady, I'm coming. When you take a civil case to court, and on a live TV program, you say that you prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. We had a director legal of a political party making this particular assertion. You take rubbish to court, excuse my language, rubbish in court. What do you expect to get? You get rubbish results. You get it? Now, on the issue...
We have time for your paper.
Oh, for my paper,
So the story's on the front page, and then one that piques your interest, and we discuss.
Oh, yes. We are ready for NPP and
I
NDC
believe
rallies.
that's the Daily Guide newspaper.
Yeah, that's the Daily Guide newspaper. That the police, it's saying that they are ready for these, for
Election
NPP.
2020.
No, rallies today. The climax is today, but I have not heard of the Afrofantos rally or something. But
Still 2 days to go. Maybe theirs will be tomorrow.
What I cannot come to terms with is the fact that NPP is having to do theirs at, how do you call it? Legon. And NDC, Medina. Hey, why that? That is the only thing. You see, that is the only challenge I have. And you could see clearly that we made the announcement first, saying that this is the place we're going to do our rally. All of a sudden, our good brothers and more or less like our wives or husbands, the NDCs, have also decided to also go to do this at Medina.
The season calls for it.
The season calls for it. But like you see,
you really cannot,
yes,
you can't fault them for
I've always held a principle that we need to educate our followers that are the very top. We don't fight too, I'm telling you.
Okay.
There is nothing like any fight amongst us.
Kindly walk us through the stories on the front page.
Oh, okay. So
we can move on from there.
What we have here is that on page 3, like I said, we are ready for NPP and NDC rallies. Then on page 6, we have Ghana Publishing Outdoors e-Gazette app.
Okay.
Either two. Ghana Publishing had collapsed, but under the watch of NPP. Look at what is happening. Then we say, Stephen Amwa tips Bawumia to win. That is obvious. Then we say, vote wisely, Roman Father. I think Roman Father happens to be the...
replacement for...
No, he wasn't replaced. He tried, but he didn't get through.
Well, thank you.
And Haptel demands apology, retraction from Media General Captain Smart. You could see that kind of...
Thank you, Nana Vidya. Let's do the Ghanaian Times newspaper now.
Yes. Who occupies the presidential seat? It is clear that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will occupy the presidential seat. Look,
before you reflect, let's do the...
Yes. So the second, we also have EC conduct special voting exercise in Western regions today. Okay. We have Domelo petitions OSP to probe alleged Ayawaso electoral malpractice.
I think OSP has also written to him to also appear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And who occupies presidential seats? Really, that's a major...
Okay. So we can hear you now.
Yes, so it is clear that the one who occupies the presidential is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The people have spoken, the polls have spoken, the prophets have spoken. It is clear.
The polls have spoken?
Oh, yes. You have seen polls from Fitch, EIU, Global Info Analytics, and a major,
we've also seen other polls that have put Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of
no doubt. I mean, there are a lot of reasons. I mean, I've read some of their reasons, and I don't think that it will resonate with the people of Ghana. But it is clear that John Mahama will not because... John Mahama will win because the people have realized that John Mahama is much more credible. John Mahama has the experience when they compare and contrast John Mahama's economic records to the present economic circumstances we find ourselves in. It is clear that this NPP regime has failed. 2 million unemployed young people. 1 million Ghanaians have lost their monies through domestic debt exchange. Every macroeconomic indicator has entered into a tailspin. They have headed south. And it is about the economy. It is about bread and butter, what you eat.
Okay.
The man who has been at the helm of affairs of Ghana's economy now for its destruction is Bawumia, and he is the one heading NPP's campaign. Why should the people of Ghana vote for a man who destroys Ghana's economy to this far and stakes another claim in our presidential seat? I think that it is the most...
he's not been the president before.
Look.
Let's
Vice president is not a small position. In fact, President Akufo-Addo told us that you are the one in charge of the economy. The whole president, nobody in this government is credible than Akufo-Addo.
Okay. President
Akufo-Addo is saying that Bawumia is the one managing the economy. How do you manage the Ghana's economy? And it destroys to this rate. You run away and say that you are only a driver's mate. Now, if you solve all the problems today, what will you solve tomorrow? So the people of Ghana should die before they move forward. And I think that you don't need leaders who do not take responsibility like the way Bawumia does not take responsibility. We must vote against him on Saturday.
Thank you. The Custodian newspaper now.
Just a quick 30 seconds so that Nana Pia would know. So if you have taken your small constitution, the book, yellow one, I'm
telling you, you don't know. If
chapter 25, which talks about amendment of the Constitution. We have 2 articles in there, 289 and 290. Good, you have yours here, so I would want you to read. And so read the first one that talks about that's Article 289.
Just read it out,
Subject to the provision of this Constitution, Parliament may, by an act of Parliament, amend any provision of this Constitution.
Okay,
so you see where I was right? No, you've answered yourself.
Oh.
You've answered yourself.
May.
Yes.
Amend.
Yes.
Okay, so it means
all
that
I was saying was this.
I just wanted you to read it.
Yeah,
so,
but now, if okay.
Let him talk.
Asamba now anya wote why?
I'm a fine gentleman. There na person Ghana for. All
right, now please let's move on. I think the point has been made. You understand that if you get into power, you can amend some provisions of the Constitution. That point has been made. Let's go.
There are some articles that you can't touch, and if you read the next article, it states the articles that you cannot touch by the provisions. So, I mean, Alan, a lawyer knew, a seasoned lawyer, for that matter. All right. So, let's move on.
For the custodian
I would want to look at the finance minister. He's saying that Ghana's economy is recovering strongly.
Dokaya is laughing.
And that is
on not the finance minister.
Page 6. The finance minister is a very fine gentleman.
Yeah, he is.
A fine gentleman who has found himself at the ministry at an unfine time. It's an intelligent man, but wrong timing. And there is a paragraph that says that the feeding grant cost per meal per child per day under the school feeding program was increased from 80 pesos in 2016 to 1 cedi 50 pesos in 2024.
1 cedi. Your reflections. No, I'm just, I doubt, so, as an individual, I just doubt.
So that is a question. So,
is enough
because it is increased from 80 pesos, for which matter we voted against the NDC and brought you. And then you have increased it to 1 cedi 50 pesos, which cannot buy a ball of kinky. Then you say we should keep you in power because the economy is recovering.
Let me throw that to Nana Bediako quickly. Let me see what he says on this front. So Ghana's economy is recovering, says the finance minister. And in his own words, he's saying that 1 cedi, what, 80 pesos. Is
1
what,
cedi 50 pesos.
50 pesos. Does that suffice? Will that suffice to feed anybody today?
You see,
we don't see anything, my brother.
Relax.
Bojidi, let me hear.
Bojidi, you see, this is what, according to the custodian, the finance minister said. Which is begging for answers, is that hitherto, a Dutch government in this country, for the very first time, did a press conference to withdraw their funding of the free, the school feeding program under a particular regime. For which reason that regime's person is being represented.
We have 3 minutes to go.
Yes.
The question is, if you're saying in one breath that the economy is recovering strongly, and in another breath,
I'm coming. Is the economy, my lady, with me?
Is what?
My lady, are you therefore saying that the growth of the economy is clearly tagged or attached to the school feeding? Is that what you are saying?
Well, give us Give us one indicator that shows that the economy is recovering strongly. Just one, and I'll move on.
One, about the inflation. You get it.
What are we doing right now in terms of inflation?
It was around 54, and now it's about 27, and you are saying it's not recovering? Under the NDC, it went as far to about 111. Hey, look, you don't even know this. My brother, you see, let me tell you, to be honest with you, when it comes to checking things on the internet, everybody has a phone. Thankfully, we have a system where you could clearly take your phone and
which year was inflation?
Please, you relax.
All right.
So all that I'm saying is,
gentlemen, you have to vote for me. You know, special voting is happening today in the Eastern and Western region. One of our colleagues, Natalia Kwanza, our regional correspondent, is actually on ground, and she has something to report. Natalia, if you can hear us, what's happening in terms of the special voting where you are?
Okay, so I'm at the Stikado Petan constituency here in the Western region. The special voting began at exactly 7 a.m. It's at the Brigade Hall here in the constituency. It has begun with heavy police presence, and then there are observers from Kodeo and ECOWAS as well. And then for now, everything is ongoing smoothly.
Thank you so much, Natalia. In terms of turnouts, does it looking hopeful?
Yes, sweetie, it's looking very hopeful here.
Okay, thank you. We'll circle back to you in our subsequent bulletins when you have more to report for us. That's Natalia Kwanzaa from Isikado Kitten giving us updates on the special voting that is happening today in the eastern and western regions. Gentlemen, we have to wrap up in about a minute, but so I do want to wrap up this conversation.
Didn't make me...
I'll come back to you. Yes, I was waiting for you to prove to me just in as few words as possible.
I have made mention.
Inflation.
Yes, I've made mention of inflation. Right. Said one, but like, please,
I like to leave these for our audience. To be the
yes, that's fine. That's
they
fine.
Are the ones
please, let me. Yes, yeah. Nana, we know. I know.
And now
just
you see, yes,
you, please. My brother, my very good brother, Doc, made a certain comparison that in 2016, fuel was being sold at a cost of 14 Ghana cedis, whereas per gallon, whereas dollar was 4 Ghana cedis. Was that what you said? You see, they think everybody think like them. Why don't you compare?
I've been told that
how much a gallon of fuel was being paid for under President Kufuor, and that of the dollar under President Kufuor.
Thank you. I've been told we have to. I'll come back to you. Okay. I'll come back to you. Yeah.
Just raised one question.
Yeah.
And I am asking again. A recovering economy that has a cedi to a dollar at 17 cedis and some pesos. Please. Now, my question is, we have an economy where you have done haircuts, where contractors are not being paid, where you are not spending, you are not servicing your debts. This is basic and fundamental. Once you receive your salary, once you receive your salary and you are not paying your child's school fees,
you get more money.
You are not painting and renovating your house, you are not paying your bills, you have not paid your debts, you have more money.
Okay.
And so you will think that your salary is good. But when you begin to pay, or when you begin to service these items, then you will know that you rather should have not worked. And sweetie, you see, when it comes to the issue of economy in this particular elections, you will notice that both the NPP and the NDC run away from the fundamental items or elements that the Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian relates to. 2016.
No, Nana Yosapo, I'm sorry, I cannot.
No, I'm just wrapping up. I mean, they intervened and all that. They interfered with my submissions. They are not gentlemen. So what happened is this. In 2016...
That's in jest, please. No one take it. Go on. Nana, we don't have time. Yeah, let's go.
We voted against the NDC because of these elements, because the dollar was performing poorly. The cedi was performing poorly against the dollar, because food items were being increased, inflation. We couldn't buy food, we couldn't buy egg, we couldn't travel, we couldn't do nothing. Then we have the NPP come to power.
Which were part.
Of course, I've not denied.
Yes.
And we had policies, and then these policies were poorly implemented. These policies were hijacked by a few individuals in the party and in government and decided to do what they wanted to do. So because we love Ghanaians, we left and said that this is the way forward. Industrialization was the way forward.
From the great
Enterprise Ghana was the way
great
forward.
Transformation of
and you expect us to vote for the NDC?
Thank you.
No.
I want to give the last word to Dr. Samia.
And the real change
is Alan, you have the last word.
My dear, look.
I'm Sweetie, guys.
Sweetie?
Yes.
Okay.
My dear, my lady.
You see, the people of Ghana do not wash their face from down. When they see that the Ghana's economy is destroyed, they know. Nobody can come and tell us that it is recovering. Look, and brilliant analogy by my brother here. The domestic debt exchange bondholders that these people expropriated their... Please. That they expropriated their wealth. Took the amount... Some of them do not even have money to buy common medications for diabetes and hypertension. And you are here saying your economy is recovering.
Okay.
How can you tell me that inflation of 54% that came down to 27% is recovering? Now, when you came to power in 2016, what was the inflation?
And
today, Ghana is in debt of about 765 billion, and you are here saying that your economy... What kind of analogy is this?
That there is...
You don't respect the people... You don't respect the people...
But before we go, gentlemen, let me do this. Yes. Just the headlines from here that we didn't touch on the paper. Baumia a better choice than Mahama. Kofi Bento declares 76 seats up for grabs. Akufo-Addo to commission Agenda 111 hospitals today. They say they're 70% complete. The business analyst says EC rubbishes video of truck transporting voters register. A Mahama agroeconomic transformation through a 24-hour economy. Dr. Peter Boama Otokuno writes, and inflation surges to 23% in November 2024. These and other stories you can pick a copy of for yourself and get into it. My guest who joined us this morning, Nanaya Sapon, political assistant to Alan Sherman-Ting, lawyer Nana Bediako. He speaks He speaks for the NPP on youth development, and Dr. Sami Aye, who is also a spokesperson for the NDC's communications team. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us for News Review. Yes, I'm absolutely voting on Saturday. Please stay for sports anchored by Haruna Mubarak. Thank you for watching.
Time to bring you sports on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. So our first story, and former Ghana international Sam Johnson has advised left-back Baba Rahman to stay away from the Black Stars and focus on his club career. It's been 455 days since the defender last played for Ghana, following jeers and criticism from fans. While Rahman hopes to return for the 2026 World Cup, Johnson believes staying away is a better decision. There's more in this report.
The Ghanaian defender, who has been an integral part of the Black Stars, became a victim of boos and insult at the Barbaras Stadium in Kumasi when he last featured for the team during the 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifier against Central African Republic. The 30-year-old will later reject subsequent call-ups to the team, including his inclusion in the squad for the 2023 AFCON and most recently the 2026 World Cup qualifier against Mali and the Central African Republic.
Moments I talked to him, but at the moment he's not ready to come back. I don't know exactly what he experienced with the national team, but I don't know what happened after that game, but surely it affected him and his family. And I think we as human beings can do better.
Meanwhile, the former Chelsea defender, who currently plays for PAOK in the Greek top flight, has been in an impressive form this season, having made 10 appearances and scoring 3 goals. This has reignited calls for his return to the senior national team amid its decline. However, speaking to Pan-Africa Football, former Ghana international Sam Johnson wants him to reject the calls for his return, urging him to quit the national team. He says, unquote, "If I were him, Baba Rahman, I won't come because he has suffered a lot from Ghanaians, including some of us." He continues, unquote, "If I were to be him, I don't care whether I'm playing like Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, I won't come. But that decision is up to him. If I were in his position, I'm done with the national team." Quote close. Meanwhile, in a recent interview with BBC Africa Sport, the left-back said he is open to playing for Ghana in the future, but remains on a self-imposed break from international duty, prioritizing his health and club football for now.
Now, Member of Parliament for Hohoi, John Peter Amewu, has expressed hopes of enhancing talent production in his constituency to benefit the Black Stars in the future. This comes after the inauguration of a 7,000-seater stadium, which is aimed at talent development.
The Hohoi Sports Stadium project was initiated by John Peter Amewu in 2005 during his tenure as the Hohoi Municipal Chief Executive under President Kufuor's administration. Work commenced on the project with a 120,000 solid concrete blocks gift from Mr. Amewu's friend intended to be used to construct a hotel. The project stalled after the New Patriotic Party exited office in 2008 and resumed in 2016 when the party returned to power. The 7,000-seating capacity stadium with space to accommodate about 10,000 spectators is about 90% complete.
It's gradual, you know, this is we are about 90% complete. What is left is the VIP stand, which we are working on. And I'm sure early first quarter of next year, we should be able to see a total completion. So I think that's a very exciting year. And we're trying to build the talent of the currently one of our guys we called to the national team. We are in the process of sending 2 of the boys to Poland. And so we are developing talent. And this talent we believe will go in a long way to help. My dream is that one day 11 players from Howard will be playing the blaster. And you it will happen. Thank you.
There was an exhibition match between National Division 1 side, Hoho United FC and Old Black Stars players. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
To the English Premier League, Arsenal scored twice from corners to comfortably beat Manchester United and hand manager Ruben Amorim his first defeat in English football. The win reduces their gap with leaders Liverpool to 7 points after the Reds' 3-3 draw with Newcastle. Elsewhere, Chelsea hammered Southampton 5-1, while Manchester City returned to winning ways with a 3-0 win over Forest. Kevin De Bruyne back in form there for Manchester City last night, but the same can't be said for Kylian Mbappe as Real Madrid. The Frenchman missed a penalty as the La Liga champions suffered a 2-1 defeat to Athletic Bilbao, leaving them 4 points behind league leaders Barcelona. That's how we end the sports segment here on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak.
Around the world and across Ghana's 16 regions, this is the AM show. Now, coming up, let's tell you about our Forestry Commission that has been left helpless in the current spate of unbridled invasion of forest reserves. Joy News investigations have uncovered what appears to be the final scramble for the country's forest reserves with few days to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Heavily armed thugs have invaded reserves with heavy earth-moving equipment as overpowered personnel of the Forestry Commission look on helplessly. The illegal gold mining operations have wreaked havoc on several hectares of our once evergreen Jamira, Tano, Ofin Belt, Aseneyo and Apamprama forest reserves. Ohemin Tewia of our security desk observed the involvement of some security operatives in this latest wanton distraction and tells us more.
Ashanti region alone holds about 69% of Ghana's forest reserves. Forest reserves, home to several water bodies, have become targets for illegal miners who mine in riverbeds with impunity. Not even the deployment of police military teams could help put a halt to illegal mining operations in forest reserves and river bodies. As political campaigning activities heat up on the streets, so do illegal mining activities boom in the forest reserves.
The Nkawie Forest District has experienced an upsurge in illegal mining in the past 1 month. In fact, the problem used to be there, but the rate that it has exacerbated within the last 1 month is quite alarming. We have 4 forest reserves in the district, and almost all the 4 forest reserves are under attack.
Joy News investigations have uncovered illegal mining operations have more than quadrupled in forest reserves in the last 2 months as the illegal miners plunder the country's natural resources. Jamira, Tano Ofin Bed, Aseneyo and Apamprama forest reserves are attracting more excavators as armed thugs ravage forest reserves.
It looks as if our future is bleak in terms of managing the resources. Very overwhelmed. And if we're in charge of a forest reserve, and we have so many tags there, mountain barricades or barriers, and you cannot access your forest reserve to do your day-to-day activities, then it's very serious.
This is the Ofin Shelter Belt. The Wang's Evergreen Reserve is a pale shadow of itself as excavators continue to ravage the forest. At Anyafutu in the Achimamponua district of the Ashanti region, armed thugs with strong political connections have mounted roadblocks to prevent Forestry Commission staff from accessing the forest. The team was prevented from advancing further beyond the River Betsina. Nkaria District Forestry Manager had an encounter with the thugs.
The modus operandi of the illegal miners is to position thugs at the entry points either to the forest reserve or to the compartment, making it inaccessible. In fact, when you look at the situation, it has gone beyond the normal forestry staff going to the field, sometimes to immobilize or cause an arrest. This time round, you dare not do such things. In fact, before you even enter the reserve, you are going to meet barricades, which are manned by armed men. And the best way, or the instances where they allow you to enter, you go under escort. They will not give you that liberty to inspect or even conduct any operation, because they will monitor you with these guns following you here and there.
But with the help of a drone, the team managed to take live pictures of the destruction caused to the forest after assessing alternative routes after several days of surveillance.
Because we were prevented by the security operatives at the Anyafutu entrance of the forest, we were compelled to use this alternative route by crossing the Ofin stream using this small canoe.
The team also discovered the illegal miners were using a fake entry permit with a forged signature of the CEO of the Forestry Commission, John Alote. At least 36 excavators and a dozer were spotted at the site. Several hectares of virgin forest have been planted. Assembly member of Anyafutu electoral area, Ketri Opoku, tells Joy News he was misled to believe the miners were using excavators to plant trees.
The minimum one say, miners and be a tremor hanum, na me frɛ wɔn. Ti me frɛ wɔn asɛm titia wɔn de ma me ne sɛ wɔn ɛyɛ ku a wɔn edua nnua de ma aban. Me yɛ madwin sɛ me frɛ wɔn na me frɛ wɔn ɛna wɔn so kyerɛ me sɛ dabi wɔn adwuma wɔn die ne sɛ wɔn edua nnua de ma aban. Nti wɔn de krataa kyerɛ sɛ wɔn agye tumi free aban mu ɛde aba ɛkyerɛ me ma me so me huni.
Ashanti Regional Manager of the Forestry Commission, Clement Omari, who saw images of the destruction caused to the forest, is saddened at the impunity.
I'm saddened, very, very saddened and disheartened, because as a resource manager, if you look at the level of destruction by those people who want to take the law into their own hands, every true Ghanaian will not be happy. And I don't think as a forest manager, regional manager, if I see these things, I should be happy. No.
His outfit in recent times has received several reports of the nefarious activities and operations of the armed thugs in the forest. But there's little Mr. Omari and his team could do, since all appeals to the Regional Security Council for military deployment have proved futile.
He has forwarded all the reports he has submitted to Accra for necessary action. At my level, we also report to the district chief executives and then the police commander, as well as the military.
The Commission's request for military deployment appears to have been clouded out by political campaigning activities. Meanwhile, a non-governmental organization, Eco-Conscious, agrees with Mr. Omari.
We had said that the government should declare a state of emergency, precisely because of what you are saying, so they could deploy the police and the army. We have to be very, very clear. What is going on could not be done without the complicity of those in authority. And that's why we say the firefighters are the arsonists or they are complicit. Because you cannot do this without either certain people turning a blind eye or being actively involved. Let's call a spade a spade. The scale on which this is happening is unprecedented.
The streets in the cities might be filled with loudspeakers beaming with political party songs, but these songs mean little to illegal miners who perhaps enjoy the sounds of excavators.
Very, very serious, and we need to do something about that.
From Kumasi, for Joy News, Oiminteria reporting.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, before we get into our next bit of conversation, I want to remind you that this year's CompuGhana Cashback has been named as Prime Cashback Season, and it's packed with incredible deals and exciting surprises. This Prime Cashback, CompuGhana is bringing you exclusive discounts, prime savings, and awesome surprises when you shop products from any of their branches nationwide. You can find products from your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Dell, Media, Nasco, Tecno, Infinix, Itel, Huawei, and many more. Visit any of CompuGhana branches nationwide and enjoy exclusive discounts on all products. You do know that CompuGhana has a wide range of IT-related products, mobile phones, laptops, printers, desktops, television sets, fridges, home theaters, air conditioners, gas cookers, and more. And what's more amazing is this year's Prime Cashback with CompuGhana has got great prices with instant gifts and cash prizes for your shopping experience. When you shop at CompuGhana this season, be on the lookout for the surprise team. Answer a question correctly and win instant cash and gifts. You deserve this opportunity to rush to CompuGhana now. The promo runs from now to the end of December. So visit www.compughana.com or simply call 0302 752 020 for more information. Let me also tell you or remind you about Medicas Hospital. It's a modern healthcare facility built with your recovery in mind. Spacious wards built with your family in mind, and a warm and caring pediatric unit built with your children in mind. And we've assembled some of the brightest minds in medicine, led by Dr. Yao Osafo, the drive-time doctor, to serve you. We offer general medical services as well as specialist services in plastic surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, child health, urology, psychiatry, and eye care. Additionally, we offer a comprehensive medical diagnostic service encompassing endoscopy, medical laboratory services, x-rays, and scans. There is a 24-hour pharmacy that ensures you will always receive efficacious, safe, and affordable medicines. And we bring you the most powerful medicine of all, simple human kindness and empathy. And we take pride in holding ourselves to the highest attainable standards. But guess what? We accept all forms of payment, including from private health insurance companies. Locate Medicas Hospital at number 10 Kingston Street near Ashale-Butche School Junction, or simply call 0501-477-340 or reach us on all social media platforms at Medicas Hospital. Medicas GH, that's the media handle. Medicas Hospital, a place of healing. You want to stay with us? There's so much more coming your way on the AM show. We're back in a bit. Let's get into our big stories on the AM show. Of course, Benjamin Akakpo is in the studio. But we want to first focus on the special voting that is underway in the eastern and western regions this morning. 2 days, 3 days after these two regions missed participation in the nationwide exercise, which happened on Monday. We'll take you to the regions where our correspondents are standing by to keep us updated on the exercise. And joining us first via Zoom is Natalia Kwansa from the western region. Natalia, what can you report from the western region in terms of the special voting happening today?
Yes, sweetie. So in the western region, we are expecting a little over 5,000 voters today across the 17 constituencies here in the region. I am stationed at the Sikado Ketan constituency of the western region. Here we are expecting 286 voters to cast their vote. It's begun at exactly 7 a.m. As of now, over 30 voters have cast their votes. There is heavy police presence here as well. But I have with me here the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC, Elikam Kotoko. He's here. Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sister. How are you?
I'm fine. How has it been going around observing what is happening?
This is my second station. I was at second day. The method is back. It was very peaceful there, but there was one incident of an officer who was turned away, obviously because his name was not found. in the register. And that is a reason for concern, because we have said consistently that no way should a single person be disenfranchised by reason of the fault of the Electoral Commission. And if there's even a % of that in a special vote, then I can assume that there will be 10% of that in the main election. And that will not be countenanced by any political party. At least speaking for the NDC, we will not allow that to happen. The EC should sit up and make sure they right the wrongs, even from the special voting, before Saturday's voting, which is an exercise to redeem this country and rescue or help our second.
But how sure are you that his name was, I mean, he did his, the exhibition, he went to find out whether his name...
Fortunately, I was there. But you see, it is even no excuse trying to say that somebody did not show up to verify if his name was there or not. The fellow originally went through the process. And having gone through the process, it is supposed to be captured. Yes, you may say that it's a device that may have some challenges, which is why the need here is for verification. But there must be a way out to make sure that is rectified to allow the person to vote and not be disenfranchised.
But so far, are you satisfied with where you've been through?
I have been to 2 stations so far. I must say I am very content, except for the infraction that will be on notice over there. It's been very peaceful there. I've noticed the officers are on duty and themselves. They are civilians when they take their clothes off, and they believe that it's the same Ghana we are all talking about. And so whatever seeks the progress and development of this country concerns them. They have wives, they have husbands, they have children, they have relatives who are all civilian. And so it is the same Ghana we are all fighting for. And so I believe strongly that it should be a peaceful process. And from the NDC side, we believe that we are for peace, but we will not be victims of peace.
All right. So, Sweetie, you had Elikem, the Deputy National Organizer of the NDC. We are still on ground. Whatever happens, we would send it across to our viewers and listeners.
Thank you so much, Natalia Kwanzaa, our Western Regional Correspondent. But let's come back into the studio. Benjamin, it appears the issues that popped up or came up on Monday are repeating themselves in the Western region, at least, now that we know that Natalia Kwanzaa is reporting to us that someone could not vote.
A bit of a surprise in there, an unwelcome surprise. We're hoping that these issues will be remedied so that those who deserve to vote, those who've gone through the process, can vote. But let's cross over to Kwesi Azor in the Akimoda constituency. He also joins the conversation. Kwesi, what can you report from where you are, that constituency? Has voting started, and what exactly is taking place? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, Kwesi, please unmute so that we can hear what you are saying. Unmute for me, please.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, go ahead. I can hear you now.
Started with they have voting actually attacking where the special voting is going on. That's where they do the special voting. Currently, about 30 people has already casted their vote, and the security presence it's very intensive and massive over there. There's a lot of security at Achimoda constituency where the special voting is ongoing. We expected 333 voters to cast their vote this very morning at Achimoda constituency over there. Currently, I'm at Achim Swedru constituency. Also, I just arrived here. I haven't gotten any figures, any information from the returning officer at the moment. But as you can see at my back, there's a lot of, people are in queue also voting at Achim Swedru constituency. There's a lot of security over here. The voting is going on smoothly as it was expected. So currently, Achimoda constituency and Achim Swedru constituency, the voting is going on smoothly. We haven't even heard anything. If everybody has no problem with maybe not verification or something, no, everything is going on smoothly at Achimoda and Achim Swedru constituency at the moment, my brother.
If you look at the political parties, they have representatives and all of that. What has their mood been? Have you interacted with any of them so far?
Not yet. I have the constituency chairman for the NDC with me here. If you don't mind, maybe I can have one or two word with him. But currently, they are here. I went to Adan, they were there. They were very, very busy checking those who will be voting. They will be taking yeah.
Right. Kwesi, we're grateful for the scoop you've given us. Thank you for connecting with us. Kwesi Azo was reporting from the Akimoda constituency. Let's bring in Benjamin Ray as well. Benjamin, good morning.
Good morning.
Where exactly are you currently, and what can you report from there? Which constituency are you in?
Yeah, thank you very much. Currently, I'm at secondary constituency in the Western region.
Okay.
Voting started exactly 7 a.m., where the security officers who are to be deployed here have doing everything possible to restore calm in secondary constituency. The total expected vote, I mean the special voters today, is 579. 579. And as at 8:32, 91 voters have casted their vote in secondary constituency. Currently, as you can see at my back, some of the security personnel have queued in to cast in their vote. There is peace over here. There has not been any intimidation in secondary constituency where the voting is taking place at Well Road Methodist School, exactly the secondary Methodist Park.
I see. Interesting dynamics there. And the security forces lining up, as you can see, to partake in the vote. Have you been able to hear anything from the political party representatives?
Yeah, when I came here around 6:15, I decided to interact with them. And when the voting started 7 a.m., I got closer to them to get their side of the election. And according to them, they are busy doing their work. So I should give them some time. So when they are done, they will get back to me.
Have there been any issues of anybody being turned away who has come and who has not been able to vote because maybe their names couldn't be found on the register?
No, one issue I saw was that one security officer came and he was with his voter's ID card. But the unfortunate thing is he did not register in the special voters register. So the EC officials urged him to come and cast his vote coming Saturday.
I see. Well, interesting dynamics there that Benjamin Bray is recording from Second D. Thank you for those updates. We'll be swiveling back to you as and when time allows us to do that. Well, also coming up, the two major political parties, the NDC and the MPP, are winding down their campaigns with final rallies in the Greater Accra region. What does this mean for the fortunes of these two leading parties as the police announces road diversions ahead of these mammoth events? Joining the conversation, Sweetie, would you like to walk us through?
Yes, we have Richard Ahiagba. He's Director of Communications for the NPP. If you're with us, please say hello. We're just testing if your microphone is on and if we can hear you. Okay, we also have Mustapha Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mustapha, are you with us?
Yes, I'm gladly with you.
Fantastic.
And I can see you look beautiful.
Thank you, Mustapha. We also have Dr. John Osai Kwapong, a CDD fellow. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely background you have there, Doc.
Thank you.
Let me start with Mustapha Gbande. I mean, preparations are in full swing as the two major political parties gear up for their biggest rallies. Now, the surprising twist is, Mustapha, both of you have selected venues in close proximity to each other. Are we setting the stage for a dramatic showdown of political energy?
Well, good morning, and good morning to our cherished listeners, including my brother Richard Ahiagba, who have been missed for a long time. I'm sure he lost his voice because the government has collapsed.
Hey, Mustapha.
You know, the NDC and the MPP ostensibly are family members.
Yeah.
And as such, I am not afraid at any point in time when the NDC and the MPP will concurrently do or have programs that connects with one another. It's just about discipline of leadership. We have told our members that we have a party to govern, we have an election to win, we have a nation to run, and that nation at every point in time will include our brothers who have become enemies of the state by bad governance. And so there's a need for fundamental respect for one another and tolerance. And so it will just be the beauty of the occasion this afternoon running up our various campaigns. I can assure you that from the camp of the NDC, there would not be any violence. Nobody will attack anybody from the MPP. Okay. And I believe that even though the MPP will lose election, they know the consequences when you precipitate ungovernable behavior before you exit power. So they won't even dare. And I want to urge my brother Richard to ensure that his party is well governed, because they are the very ones sometimes who precipitate violence. But in the past, the MPP have touted themselves to be elites. They don't believe in violence. Okay. And have given us that bad name. Now, they are in a comfortable lead. So we beg them. We are going to have to crown our campaign. It's part of our ways to win the election. Okay. The euphoria and everything. And the MPP decided to take theirs to Legon. But they are welcome. It will be a showdown of friendly fire. It will never be violent. It will never be rancor. There will not be confusion. There will not be any single distraction. We are jubilating and cheering the MPP into opposition. They know that they are going. They have already started packing their things from the Jubilee House.
Hold on for Ben. But I'm curious to find out, what informed the choice of Zurich Park? Did you know that the NPP were going to Legon when you decided to go to Zurich Park? What happened there?
Our strategy doesn't follow the MPP at all because they are not a reference point in our activities. We just decided that as part of our planning, we needed to do our things in Medina, which is a Zongo-based community, which is also a cosmopolitan constituency that involves all breed of people. And so being there was going to crown our final rallies. And also, maybe it's our spiritual direction to host our campaign there so that we can win.
Okay.
Then the MPP hurriedly went to say that they wanted to be there. But we have beaten them to the choice, so we are good to go.
Thank you. I think we have Richard Ahiagba, but Ben, it appears it's going to be a showdown of political energy, but peacefully. That's what Mustapha Gbande is saying.
Well, hopefully it's a tug of peace, not a tug of war. But let me just check to find out whether we have Mr. Ahiagba. Mr. Ahiagba, good morning. Okay, all right. We don't have Richard Ahiagba yet. We'll try to reconnect to him. Mustafa, so having said what you have, I mean, there have been accusations, counter-accusations about Lydia Sarah Malhassan coming to campus, and then, or is it Samira Baumia coming to campus, and then the NDC also doing something. Then the accusation that the NDC, John Dumelo and others wanted to go towards the mall area, and then there was communication that the president was also going to be there. All of these have happened. But let me ask you, as you wind down your rallies, today is your final day, right?
Yes, today.
Today is your final day. So by close of day, all rallies by the NDC would have ended. We know you're going to be in the Greater Accra region. What can we expect in this region as you cap off your rallies?
You should expect a final statement, most importantly of peace, from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But the NDC believe that we would win this election meritoriously by the people of Ghana, and that there's a need to keep the atmosphere to contain all Ghanaians. And so first and foremost, our priority is that the election will be peaceful. You should expect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and leadership to also speak about violence and political fraudulency, using thuggery and monetization, sharing of money, printing of fake ballot papers, and all of you, that will encourage the MPP to shun that strategy because it's outmoded. We're at a point in time when our work should speak for us. Ghanaians are very discerning. In the last 8 years, if they have done their work well, they shouldn't be printing fake ballot papers. They shouldn't be preparing taggery. They shouldn't be sharing broad day money. Agako, you have spoken against monetization a number of times. The MPP is in the news for the very bad reasons of the same offense. They are sharing money as if Ghanaians don't have a problem.
And the NDC has never shared money, right?
Well, I will not say that we have never done that, but these are condemnable actions. I remember the Ejura incidents. You and I together condemned it. But this time, they have given 1 million cedis to each parliamentary candidate to go and share, as if Ghana doesn't have a problem.
How did you come by this information?
Only yesterday. Come again, please.
How did you come by this information? Where's your proof to back it up?
Anyagba will confirm. Only yesterday or 2 days
I
ago,
I doubt he will.
They were paying accumulated 1 year arrears of nurses trainees. And the question is that these are people who have told you and I in the last 7 years, but they are the ones who are paying nurses trainee allowance. Why are they paying accumulation? And I've said on your show, that the MPP have not been able to pay nurses trainee allowances. They deny. Now they are paying it. Anyagba will have to confirm on that one also. Now, you should also be expecting a final cap on the big agenda. The big agenda, which is our developmental agenda. The president will highlight that and then also make a statement of collaboration with all Ghanaians, private sector, to drive this economy, to revive the country, and to see Ghanaians develop. Ghana is going to be better. Ghana is going to grow. Everyone will be happy. Look, the euphoria, the direction, if you gauge the mood of the country, clearly Ghanaians are up for a change and ready to do so. We urge our colleagues in the MPP to understand that they've been in government for quite 8 years. It's enough. In fact, it is natural that every 8-year cycle will change the government in Ghana. Quite apart from that, they haven't performed. We've seen a whole lot of things, including corruption, including unethical political behavior.
Okay.
If Ghanaians have decided not to vote for them, they should accept it and go and rebrand themselves.
All right, Mustapha, so let's hold it there. I'll come back to you on a quick point, but let me go to Richard Anyagba first. You say it's what? It's natural that after 8 years, I don't know, they say they want to break the 8. That is the New Patriotic Party. But Richard Anyagba, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Anyagba?
Yes, I can hear you well.
It's a pleasure having you. Thank you for joining the conversation this morning. Now, 2 issues that have been raised by Mustapha Gbande. I just want to run them quickly by you. One, he says each of your MPs has been given 1 million Ghana cedis to, distribute and also aid influence the elections. And secondly, he says you are now running to nursing trainees and paying their allowances. I've also seen some rhetoric about some police officers getting their promotions ahead of today and all of that. It suggests some sort of way of influencing the outcome of the elections. Mustapha Gbande asked me to put that to you. What is the veracity of these claims?
Well, thank you very much, my brother, and to Mustapha and to all your viewers this morning. I've been in Ketu South for the past 3 months in and out. I've been here, and I'm here as we speak in Ketu South. What we are doing, other than what my good brother Mustapha is saying, is that we're canvassing. Just this morning, I took a bit longer to come on the line because there's a long line of people out there in my house asking for T-shirts, asking for campaign paraphernalia to go out and canvass. That's what we're doing. They will have a shock of their lives here in Ketu South because the lies that they've used to fool the people here for far too long, the people are waking up to it. They are nowhere to be seen in Ketu South. You don't see them canvassing anywhere since we started telling the people the truth. Their hope here is that somehow the people will vote for them, but we are on to their tricks, and that's not going to happen again this time. So, Mustapha, it is not natural that somebody will just vote for a political party who will not serve their interests. The people are waking up to the responsibility they have and to the privilege they have to select who can serve them the best. And they are willing to make a choice this time for their own good and not for the good of any political party. So you can tickle yourselves and be excited and forget the voter region to be a given for you. On election day, you'll see that things are not going to be the same as you've always had it.
Richard, are you saying that the MPP is winning Ketu South?
There's going to be a post of result on election day if the numbers come together as quickly as we expect on the 7th. They are going to see a different look in the Ketu South and largely in Volta region that they've never seen before.
A quick one on the ballot papers. The EC has had to recall, in fact, we've had some situations which has led to special voting. As far as I remember, I've never heard of special voting extending to another day. But for the first time, special voting in the eastern and western regions being commuted for another day, which is actually today. But Mustapha Gbande made a claim about fake ballots, fake ballot papers, among others. And I want to find out from you, as far as you are concerned, do you have any worries about that situation when it comes to ballot papers? I'm sure you also saw that the spokesperson for the Bawumia campaign, Dennis Miracles Abwaji, posted some ballots a few days ago, which he deleted. He came on my show and said that those were sample ballots and all that, and that on election day proper, he will post others again. Do you have any concerns with these?
Look, I'll be very, very honest with you that where we have gotten to in the evolution of electoral processes, these things cannot find their way into mainstream citizen voting. People can try their skirmishes, people can do things, but it's going to be almost impractical to do that. What I think we should focus on is how vigilant we can be at the polling station where in broad daylight, in open space, where citizens are going out there, one person after another, casting their ballots and putting in the box and the glare view of everyone. That should be our focus. We need to be vigilant on election day. Some of these destructive conversations just keeps us wondering, but we must focus and canvass. Today, the last day of elections, campaign, we should focus and canvass. I believe that when people vote, there's no amount of skirmish that anybody would do in overwhelming manner. There's no amount of skirmishes anybody would do that would upend the will of the people. So my concentration and what I will advise is that let's focus on doing that principal work of canvassing people and one person after another allowed freely to cast their vote and aggregate that. And I think that that's the best way for our democracy. Our systems are robust. Our systems are strong, and I think that if we just allow those processes to unfold, what I worry about is intimidation and other things at the polling station that may create this destabilization and affect the process. But if all those things are taken care of, I guarantee you that no ballot printed by anyone, I'm not sure how they are going to get a ballot paper that is out of serial number, out of alignment to be counted. And if people are vigilant, the agents are vigilant at the polling stations, those things cannot pass. And so we should just focus and allow the process to unfold. In that manner, our democracy would win the day, and the New Patriotic Party will be the victorious party on December 7th.
Richard,
or whenever time
before I let go on this batch of my questions and Sweetie Awachi comes in, I'm just curious. You talk about some nice things and no intimidation and all of that. I find it interesting that you're bringing that up. But I want to go back. You did not answer my question when I made mention of Dennis Miracles Abwaji posting ballots on his page, which later he deleted. Some have said, and I feel that is irresponsible. Now, and reprehensible, I might add, especially with the context and the tenor of our elections. He says he's going to do it again come the 7th of this month. I'm putting it to you, asking, do you think posting such things with ballots, serial numbers, sample or not, is responsible? And is it something, because the other people could also do same. Should we refrain from that to avoid inflaming passions?
Absolutely. We shouldn't do anything that would disturb the orderliness of the process. I absolutely believe in that. We have come a long way, honestly. We've come a long way from 1992 going into an election where there's an atmosphere of intimidation, there's no space, people feel threatened and all of that. We have come a long way where voting has become a norm and people look forward to it. Just as I was telling you, people came and this morning and they're telling me that they are ready. They can't wait for Saturday. It's a process that people want to happen as a matter of course for them. They feel that they are in charge. And what message we've been putting out is that the power to select or elect anybody to lead this country rests with them, rich, poor, or whatever. You have the power. And so they are realizing the inherent power of their thumb. And I think that nobody should do anything to undermine that process so that our country can continue to go on. Our country can continue to develop. We have a lot of things to worry about, and people should not make the process of selecting who can solve our problem become the problem. We must focus and do the right thing. So such things I would discourage. I would ask that people should just focus. Our business in this election is that let the people know what we have done, what we will do, which is fantastic. What we plan to do with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is something that will transform Ghana. Let's focus on that. And I tell you that because we are going to win, because our victory is coming, we should not be seen doing anything that will make that victory questionable, that will mar the beauty of it, and that will mar the historicity of it. So we should focus and do the right thing. Such things should not be encouraged.
Mr. Yagba, Sweetie Abochi here. So, I mean, you're crowning all your campaigning activities today in Medina or Legon, I think, for the NPP. What are the objectives you hope to achieve at the end of today? Although both of you, that is the NDC and NPP, have selected venues in close proximity to each other, Gbande just said that it would be a very peaceful showdown of political energy. What intentions do you hope to achieve at the end of the day? And do you have any concerns about the proximity?
Well, thank you very much. I want to agree with my brother Mustapha. Ultimately, I think the democratic culture in our country is cementing, or more or less has cemented, and people know that these things are occasion for people to represent their parties, and it shouldn't be about anything other than that. The proximity, interesting, but ultimately, I think that we can be civil enough to use the space and not create any chaos for ourselves and therefore disturb the peace of the country. I believe we're going today to crown and conclude our campaign by letting Ghanaians know that it is possible, that all these difficulties that face us as a country, it is possible to overcome them. With a set of policies that has been proposed in our manifesto, it is possible to surmount these challenges, and indeed we will. And so that's really the atmosphere that is going to be there. There's going to be fanfare. There's going to be messages that reinforces the history, the performance of the New Patriotic Party, who we are, what we intend to do, what we have done. And in that atmosphere, I appeal to Ghanaians to vote for us massively, for our parliamentary candidate, and for His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to take Ghana on this trajectory of growth and economic revival.
We'll go to Dr. John Osai-Kwapong briefly, but in the face of everything that's been discussed and all the issues that have come to light in the lead up to the December 7th elections, I'm curious to find out how confident are you in the EC, the Electoral Commission's ability to deliver free, fair, credible elections in 2 days? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your confidence level in the Electoral Commission? Mr. Yagba, are you with us still?
Yes, I'm with you. Oh, absolutely.
I'm asking if... Okay, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. I think that the Electoral Commission so far has acquitted itself, to me, rather creditably, having observed the special voting on Monday in Ketu South and having received reports from my regional comms directors across the country. The atmosphere is representative of what I witnessed personally here in Ketu South. The piece of it, I've never heard after those voting that something has gone amiss. So I am hopeful that the same atmosphere will play out on Saturday. And to that extent, I think that we commend the EC and have them, focus and do this as the law directs, and not veer into spaces where they are not mandated to be to create any problem for the system. Ben earlier on talked about the holding back of these two regions, Eastern and the Western, for example. I'm not sure what the circumstances would be, and I am very sure and clear in my mind that it is not for any mischief that situation will arise, but perhaps it's practical constraint that may have induced that. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But in all things, let's be clear-eyed, let's be focused ourselves, let's pay attention to the process. Where there are things happening that ought not to happen, we should call them out in real time and not do so with any intention of creating problem, but just to make sure that the process is adhered to. And I think that if we do that, at the end, when the final result is announced by the EC, whoever is elected parliamentary candidate, and ultimately Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the president-elect of the Republic, then we can make a definitive statement that the EC has done a great job. Okay, Mr.
Agba, stay with us for a second. Let's go to Dr. John Osai-Kopong now. Doc, thank you for staying with us. Now, does this rally, these two rallies, do they take away or add anything to the campaigning activities, and do they hold the key to each political party's victory come December 7th?
Oh, I mean, at this point, with 2 days to the election, I believe 99% of the people have already made their mind up. The good thing about these rallies is that one last activity to wrap up the campaign, reinforce messages, get everybody excited, get everybody energized, remind everyone on your side, what is at stake, and all of that. So it's that closing activity that, gets everybody pumped up, for the election that is coming up.
Right. And the issue about the proximity of these two venues, how does that sit with you? You've been observing how does it sit with you?
So it's interesting that they are that, close to each other, but as both of them have rightly said, it's about their party, their activity. They believe that they can coexist peacefully, and so I believe that everybody would go about doing their business, and if you see how sometimes they even interact outside of when issues come up and they banter, I don't think they have any ill will towards each other. And so I believe that would play out, and probably they would, make fun of each other, but still go ahead and have their final campaign rallies.
Right. And Doc, you've been observing all the activities, the campaigning, the accusations, scrutinizing the Electoral Commission and all that. It's 2 days to go. Are we ready, would you say?
Overall, I believe so. I think some of the issues on the part of the EC, for example, when some ballots had to be reprinted, some of the mistakes they discovered, for people like me, it raised some concerns about the preparedness of the EC. But again, to their credit, they make these issues known, and then they also immediately let us know how they are proceeding to address some of these challenges that have come up. So I'm just praying and hoping that on election day, everything goes smooth, and there are no hiccups, or any hiccups that may even emerge are quickly dealt with.
Right.
Well, a quick one for you before I cap it off with Mustapha Gbande. Now, if you look at the scramble for seats, I mean, the Upper West region, for example, is going to be keenly contested, though we know where it has leaned in the past. But when you look at some of the developments so far, what the political parties have been campaigning on, and the different polls and things that have come in, what spectacle? What are your permutations? What are your suspicions ahead of December the 7th?
So, if we go by conventional wisdom, if you look at, the economic pinch points that Ghanaians have felt, if you see the deteriorating ratings of governance issues in Afrobarometer, if you think of the fact that we are at the end of an 8-year cycle where we do the turnover, then the conventional wisdom would have us say that the NDC returns to power, right?
And
that the
Doc,
political wins.
You would want to add the fact that so far, even in the special voting, we've seen very huge, huge numbers. Let me put it that way. The voter turnout has been, in many places, 80% plus, which is what you would see when usually there is a transition in government. Does that play any role?
Right. And so that's the conventional wisdom would say political winds blowing favorably in the case of the NDC. But the other thing that I have also noticed, though, is that if you look at the recent Afrobarometer Round 10, 4 key government policies still have the support of Ghanaians, right? The top one being free SHS, where about 85% say the next government, whoever it is, should continue it. So that is what also makes me say that I can see why Dr. Bawumia will make the case that, well, who is best position to continue these policies that Ghanaians are saying in AB that it has to. So for me, that is what makes once in a while 2024 looks like it could be an unconventional election. But the best poll is the poll that actually happens on election day. So we'll have to wait on Saturday to see what actually happens.
Do you think the fact that the vice president has been to all 276 constituencies will put him in some good stead, at least because of how widely he's covered the country canvassing votes?
Yes, and I think what he has also done is he's taken retail politics to a whole different level, right? That to have been able to visit 276 constituencies and then actually also do more house-to-house campaigning. I mean, both parties are doing that. If you look at the most recent Kudio report, you start asking yourself that political rallies are now becoming a dying art because a lot of the political activity this year has been focused on that face-to-face, house-to-house type of interaction. And there's nothing like, getting right in the face of the voter and personally interacting with them. It has a chance to change maybe some previously held perception about you, adds a personal twist to where that may, influence you one way or the other.
That's an interesting perspective on some of those. But I just want to pin you to the wall on this final bit before I go to Mustapha. The Electoral Commission, in the middle of all of this, if you asked me, I mean, it's been a flip-flop. Sometimes I get more trust, sometimes the trust dips. I see in the last few months, I've seen a lot more willingness to concede or give room for other parties to also have a point or make a point at IPAC and others. But looking at the different dynamics, like I said, as it stands, as memory serves, I don't recall a time where we've had to do this special voting on another day. Some of the problems we are seeing now, you may have seen bits and pieces of it in previous elections, but not on this scale. What is your trust rating? You've spoken about what you think the EC has done, but what is your trust rating on a scale of 1 to 10? How much do you trust Ghana's Electoral Commission to deliver free, fair, transparent, credible elections on D-Day?
I would say a 7.
A 7.
Right? And I would say a 7 because despite all of the mistakes that we have seen or some of the challenges that have cropped up, I'm always an eternal optimist. I like to appeal to the better angels in people. So I would want to say that, look, we've seen these mistakes on scales that sometimes we've never seen, but you've also come out to address them. And I still want to hope against all hope that these have been fixed, that on election day, we won't run into all of these issues again. So that for me is why I would give them, a 7 out of 10 rating because yes, I'm hoping for the best, but because of some of the things that we have seen, keeping that 3 till we get through Saturday, and then I'll decide what to do with the remaining 3 points.
All right, so you're an optimist, and that's why you're doing that. Mustapha, So I asked about what you were going to be doing, final spots in the Greater Accra region you would be targeting. There are some hot spots, keenly contested constituencies as well. In the last election, you broke a certain cycle as a party. You won the Greater Accra region, but you did not win the election. This was the first time since 1992 that this had happened. Whenever a party has won the Greater Accra region, they've gone on to win. Are you winning the Greater Accra region? What's the strategy, and by what percentage? What are you looking at?
Well, I think that this is it's like setting exams and giving me the questions, the answers at the same time. Look, you don't need a prophet to tell you what is going to happen in Greater Accra.
Really?
Because the spillover of bad governance, the spillover of heightened corruption, the spillover of economic mismanagement, the spillover of hardship sits at the heart of Greater Accra. That is where we all come from. We are from the villages and we are in Accra. So when you are hard-pressed, it spills over onto the rural areas. And so it is Greater Accra that we've really seen breadwinners going through hardship, tough time. And they are going to decide the direction of this government. In 2020, we still stand by the fact that the NDC was not resolute, much prepared for that election. Even though we won, they rigged it from us. That is why today you are seeing us expose every single thing the Electoral Commission, the MPP have sought to do, including printing of fake ballot papers. As we speak, their only outstanding strategy is to use some of the media outlets to declare wrongful results. But we have put adequate surveillance on standby to clamp down on that. Beyond this,
before you go on, you've made mention of two things. You must just clarify for me. You say the last election, the NDC would have won if not for rigging. The matter went to court and you lost. So I don't know about that claim of rigging. But the second bit, you say the printing of fake ballot papers. Which papers are you referring to? Because any papers that have been compromised have been burnt so far. Do you know of anything else?
No, this one is not from EC. This one is machinated by the MPP, the Jubilee House, and a printing house called Smart Line.
We have to be careful with these. Do you have evidence to that effect?
I have evidence, yes.
Where is your evidence?
Because the following day after we bested them, in fact, at night when we bested them, one Lieutenant Colonel Kwachi from Jubilee House was the one who used the military to escort the pickup. Subsequently in the morning, the place was under the protection of Operation Camlife. Full armed 2 pickups of the Ghana Armed Forces deployed from the Jubilee House. And my brother Richard Ayahamba knows that. We also bested a group of them at the Caprice area, Newtown, where private companies...
I have seen some videos, but what happened? I've seen some videos of ballots in pickup vehicles and all of that. But you're saying that was not from the Electoral Commission. It was from where? The MPP?
It was a private company through the MPP and the Jubilee House machination doing that. So at this point, I wouldn't say Electoral Commission is involved because the Electoral Commission has handed over the details of serial numbers of the pink sheet, the ballot papers that have been printed. So again, they had what we call reverse engineering, which they have printed a fake version of the original ballot papers, including the Electoral Commission's voter register. So it is a beginning of ballot stuffing. But indeed, let me assure the NDC that the MPP that the NDC today, with our own security, with intelligence agencies, with collaboration from other security agencies, we are foolproof to ensure and to assist the election to be very transparent.
Hold for me. Richard Ayahamba, this is a very serious allegation, yes. And I saw some of those pickup vehicles, videos of those. What is your reaction to this? Let me just sneak in that we've also been live on Joy Prime, in fact, Prime Morning. And thank you for those who have been following so far. Richard, what are your reactions to that?
Thank you. But you see, there was a point made. Let me start from there about this whole turnout thing, which you rationalize with the evidence of some imminent transition. It's never true. When you saw back in 2008, what was the atmosphere? But for some lapses in terms of our own internal organizations and mobilization, that election had been won one touch by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at that time. So there isn't any trend here to latch on to say that there is some trend that is manifesting that you can juxtapose on a past trend.
I completely disagree with you, Richard, and I don't know whether you got the thrust. You got the thrust of my argument.
I disagree with you.
If you would let me make my point, the point is this: whenever there has been a transition, be it 2000, be it 2008, be it 2016, be it whatever within this period, there has always been that groundswell. You see the numbers. It's a simple, data question. You see that the numbers tick up. In 2016, when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo took over the reins of the country, we saw that groundswell. The numbers increased. There was that activity. And that is all I'm pointing to. It's a mere fact that whenever there's been a transition, there's been an uptick in the percentages. And it's there. Right. I don't know why you're contesting this.
I'm just telling you that you don't have a trend to make that conclusion, because 2000 election went into a runoff. What trend gives you that? In 2008 went to a runoff. What is the trend to predict that? If you are saying that most likely this election will go into a runoff, then there's a break in your trend, because 2016 you didn't have that.
I didn't speak of a runoff though.
No, I'm just saying that because of the historicity that you're trying to put across, you don't have clear trend to lead you to that conclusion. I'm just making that point. Right? So the groundswell notwithstanding, in 2008, what groundswell determined that Akufo-Addo was going to lead in the first round, right? Yeah, he was just shy of
the interesting bottom line, though, is that whether there was a runoff or not, the interesting bottom line is that in all of these periods, there was a transition, there was a change in government, like it or not. Whether there was a runoff or not, there was a change in government.
Yeah. But the point is that if you are saying there's a groundswell, okay, which indicates an imminent coming of a transition, that cannot be accurate, because if that will be more or less disrupted by a second, maybe a second round to determine actually if there will be a transition, then it cannot be naturally occurring that any groundswell you're seeing would lead to that end. Okay, you have to make adjustment for
Richard, for the sake of time, I want you to answer the question about the ballots. We have to go. So quickly on the ballots.
Yes, so this year though, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will go on and win. So that's the point I wanted to make clear.
Okay.
This whole thing about, ballots printing up and down, I am quite clear in my mind. And I believe it when the former General Secretary, now Chairman of the NDC, said that our systems are robust. And if anybody is thinking that our electoral processes can be compromised, then the person don't know what they are talking
Richard,
about.
where were those ballot papers from? Those ballot papers in the pickup trucks. I'm sure you've seen the videos. Where were they from?
I think they are registers, not ballot papers. The EC's put out a statement.
Yes, I have not seen any ballot papers anywhere. And I'm telling you that right now as we speak, the ballots that are going to be given to voters in Ketu South, when they were dispatched, if they have been dispatched already, the NDC was there, their lock is on it, and on Saturday, that is going to be, their seal is on it. On Saturday, here in my local primary school where I am going to vote, it will be open in the full glare of everyone. So I am confused when anybody is saying somebody has printed some ballots and therefore that is going to find its way in the ballot box. How that is going to happen, I don't know. I cannot tell. The process is robust enough. The NDC themselves preach that to us. And so for me, rather than undermine the process, let's focus. But everything my good brother Mustapha is saying is creating a plausible basis for them to allege some kind of cheating when they know defeat is staring them in the face. You know that. He made a point about 2020, they won and all the rest. He is national chairman. His national chairman, General Seydou Nketia, says that they knew they didn't have any evidence. They knew that he had lost the election, but meanwhile, they came telling Ghanaians that he had won the elections.
Right.
You understand? The person who tells who wins the election is the electoral commissioner. In the case of the presidential election, is the chair of the EC. So they cannot make these allegations and walk away with it. We want people to go and cast their vote. We have done the work, and I thank you for letting Ghanaians know that we have done the hard work. First in history, a candidate has gone round every corner of this country, at least touched every constituency. That is evidence of one who wants to serve the people. We have given them their message. At this point, I can tell you that if you go to any constituency, you will get not out of every 10 people, you can get at least 6 who have heard presence of His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in their constituency. So when they vote, that experience, that awareness, that coming into contact with him will inform their decision. And I'm telling you that Ghanaians are on to the NDC's trick. Look, briefly, you know the campaign...
Richard, we really have to go. Just briefly. You know that in the campaign in 2008, everything my brother Mustapha is saying is what they said, that there is unprecedented corruption, there is unprecedented this, there's misgovernance and everything they said. When they came to power for 8 years, the NDC was unable to prosecute one person to prove one evidence of corruption that they used to campaign in 2008. Okay, point made on that. Richard Ahiagba, so thank you very much for joining the conversation. Mustapha,
Ghanaians make their choice.
I cut you and went to Richard. That's the only reason I'm giving you 30 seconds. Let's go. Final words.
So I'm just saying that the only outstanding strategy of the MPP is to get some media houses to turn out fake results so that the EC can consolidate on that to rig the election. But I would like to assure you.
But media entities don't declare results. We are not the ultimate arbiter in this. It's the Electoral Commission.
So yesterday, for example, I was in Ketunov. I done the tour on all the borders and assured the security services of collaboration. I'll use your medium to tell the media outlets in this country that you have decided to be a journalist and not a politician. We have decided to be politicians. Our rule is that when you do well, Ghanaians will vote for you. When you don't do well, Ghanaians will not vote for you. Media outlets should be guided so that they are not used for the wrong reasons of trying to undermine the credibility of the election, because the NDC is prepared in terms of intelligence, in terms of surveillance, in terms of combating same, to ensure that any declaration that will happen reflect what has happened in the polls.
Okay, all right.
What people have casted and what has been counted. In the absence of that, the only danger I see is that the Electoral Commission may not be able to see through the process.
Okay.
Because even special voting, which is just about 10% of the general election, we have postponed some of the election. And I'm afraid that EC should not jeopardize the security of this nation through their mistakes and errors. That is the only fear
we pray
I have.
Not.
Beyond that,
we pray not. We all have a role to play in that. We pray not. Thank you very much, Mustapha Gbande. He's Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. We also had a national mouthpiece, National Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party, that is Richard Ahiagba, joining the conversation. And on the other hand, we had CDD fellow Dr. John Osai Kwapo joining the conversation. Gentlemen, Nagode, thank you for joining. Before we take a breather...
Then before we go, it's important that we put out what the Electoral Commission is saying in regards to that video that's circulating on social media. I mean, we are waging war on misinformation and disinformation. So I want to tell you what the Electoral Commission is saying. The Electoral Commission is urging the public to ignore a viral video circulating on social media, which shows a voters register for Ahafano 1 and 2 being transported in a white pickup truck alongside other registers. Quote, the voters register shown in the video is not that of the EC. The Electoral Commission's registers are black and white and not colored as shown in the video. And as has been the practice, the political parties also print the final register for their agent. And so we should disregard that, and they're urging the police to investigate this matter. And the registration number of the pickup truck has been captured and sent to the police. So they're doing that. So just so that you know what the Electoral Commission is saying in that regard, so that the war against misinformation and disinformation can be won. Go on.
Let me tell you a bit about Syntex tanks. Now, Ghana, get ready for the biggest giveaway from Syntex tanks. Syntex is visiting 15 communities, giving them free water. This is to say, thank you, Ghana, for making us #1. Now, did you know Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana? Did you also know that Syntex tanks came in so many colors and was the first to come out with inner white layers? So, if it's not Syntex, you might as well forget about it. Now, if you're a community and you want to benefit from the Syntex free water giveaway, just log on to their social media handles at Syntex Ghana and nominate your community. The more you nominate, the better the chances of Syntex coming to that community. Remember, it's SINTEX, Syntex tank. No be any tank be tanko. The correct tank be Syntex tank. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. We'll be back with more action right here on the AM show. Do stay. Welcome back on the AM show. Now, 30 Ghanaian students are set to shine at the UCMAS International Competition in India. Ghana's brightest young minds are ready to take the global stage. And about 30 exceptionally talented children will showcase their unmatched mental arithmetic skills at the UCMAS competition in India. And then they'll have some fun in Dubai. Now, these young ones, driven by passion and precision, are not just aiming for trophies. They are inspiring a nation with their dedication and love for numbers, and their brains tick, yeah? Their journey symbolizes the power of determination and the promise of a brighter future for Ghana. But before we get into the conversation right here, I'd like you to watch this bit.
5 minus 3 minus 1, 3, that's it. The correct answer is 8. Wow, we have a champion over there. Wow.
An excited father could not hide his joy as his daughter emerged category A winner at the UCMAS National Championship. At just 6 years old, Nakita beats hundreds of other contenders in a breathtaking arithmetic contest.
I see this one. Wow. Wow. Oh, you can do better than that.
It has helped me to be fast.
Wow, okay. And so I want to ask you, when you grow, what do you want to become in future?
A soldier.
I thank God for UCMAS. UCMAS has really improved her mathematics, everything in school now. And I learned now she's the class prefect in school now. Yes. That was why I was jumping up and down. Yes. I'm glad to see her making it to the top today.
The UCMAS program, known for its innovative approach to mental arithmetic, is at the forefront, nurturing the talents of young girls to excel in what has traditionally been a male-dominated field.
It has helped me in calculating my math questions in exams or in class. Even in tests, I use UCMAS to calculate them. I got the confidence and the accuracy to do it.
In recent years, girls have increasingly dominated the UCMAS National Championship, with several of these young girls taking home top honors in their categories. UCMAS is not just about winning trophies. It's about instilling confidence in the student.
He's become very creative. He's able to think on the spot. And for me, that is a plus for him.
The program has seen a surge in female participation, with more girls taking up the challenge and proving their capabilities on the national stage.
See the children, very young, 5, 6, 7 years old children winning trophies and doing so marvelously well in terms of calculation. We have over 2,500 children this year participating from all over Ghana. So some of the towns, I was hearing the name for the first time. That tells you that UCMAS has benefited children all around Ghana.
For these young girls, the journey has only just begun. UCMAS continue to light the way for more girls to embrace mathematics and discover the joy of learning.
People want to take pictures with me
they want to like interview me like what you're doing now, and that's how UCMAS has helped me.
Their victory today are paving way for a brighter tomorrow, one where girls are leading the charge in mathematics and beyond. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy Prime.
And the correct answer is 0. Raise it up, please. Raise it up.
I loved that little girl's bit, a celebrity already. I wish I could be in her shoes. But the UCMAS team is here, and I am pleased to give you these wonderful young minds that tick. They tick. They can do things that even I may struggle to do. But let me introduce you. So those behind, we have Nana Adom Kusi Apau right at the end. We have Steve Kwesi. And then we have Steve Kwesi Asemwa Dia. We have Ama Jedua Afram, and we have Akoto as well. All of them right here. And then seated, we have Shaima Nunta Nasiru. She is at Rising Sun Montessori School. Shaima, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
All right, it's good to have you. And we have a parent joining the conversation as well, Imranata Jibril. Good morning. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Also on the panel, we have the Managing Director of Moria Education Limited, and they see to UCMAS right here in Ghana. I'm talking about Girish Gurbani. Good morning.
Good morning. Very good morning.
All right. So apart from my excitement, I always get excited with the children, but tell me a bit about the history of UCMAS and how it came to Ghana.
UCMAS is a global company which is present in 83 countries. It is founded in Malaysia in year 1993, and we got it in Ghana in 2007. My wife was working with UCMAS in India, so when she came to Ghana, she found that this concept can really help children, and that is how the UCMAS got introduced in 2007, and since then it's all over Ghana. I mean, all the cities, major towns, all the districts, we have presence of UCMAS all over Ghana.
I see. Pretty interesting. How many schools are involved in the UCMAS?
Okay, we have about 500 schools, okay, length and breadth of Ghana, from Accra, Tamale, Bolga, in Western Takoradi, Sekondi, Volta region, even small towns like Pando, okay, children are excelling in...
Pando isn't a small town though.
Oh, okay.
My alma mater is there, Bishop Herman. But you're basically saying that a lot of these towns getting involved in UCMAS,
Yes,
and that's very interesting. Why do you think they're so interested in this?
Because the concept is really helping children. See, as we say that the taste of the pudding is when you taste it. So basically what happens is when children are going through the program, okay, parents are seeing the benefit it brings to the children academically and non-academically, and therefore parents patronize schools who are doing UCMAS.
Right.
So now schools are looking out for UCMAS to be part of the curriculum. Okay, and schools who are not able to inculcate it as a curriculum, they offer it as a center option on Saturdays. But most schools are opting for the school-based program because it's affordable and it is very effective, and all children can learn at the same time. So there is no disparity that a child who's doing UCMAS is excelling in academics in the classroom. When all are taking part in the classroom, I think all children are benefiting.
Let me come to Shaima, and what has the experience been like for you? How long have you been with the UCMAS team? What has studying been like?
I've been with the UCMAS team for 5 years.
5 years? Wow. And what has it been like?
When I was going to compete, I felt scared.
Oh. You felt scared. But when you actually got there and you performed, how did it feel like?
I felt so happy.
Wow. You were able to overcome your fears. Would you say that studying with UCMAS has improved your math, your mathematics?
Yes.
It has?
Yes.
By how much? By a lot?
Yes.
So you look forward to participating in the grand finale, the main event in India?
Yes.
Is your family proud?
Yes.
Oh, the smile on her face when she said yes on that one. Let me come to Imranata Jibril, who's actually a parent. For you as a parent, what has this meant to you, the UCMAS journey? What has it been like?
It's been great. Actually, I used to see, before my kids started doing the UCMAS, I used to see it on TV. And I was always amazed the way the kids were answering questions so fast. And so when I enrolled them in their school and I realized they were doing UCMAS, I was so excited. And I've seen the improvement. I actually call them my calculators at home. Yes, because...
anything you throw it at them?
Yes, anything. I just call them. And then they are fast. They give it to me. I don't have to look at my phone. And I've seen that it has built them mentally. In all areas of their academics, and then they are also doing well in maths itself as well.
So is that what made you allow them to participate in the competition?
Yes.
Out of which they are now traveling?
Yes, that made me. And then when they went for the national competition, actually she went for the first time, and then she had a trophy. She took a first runner-up trophy. So it pushed me to let her take part in the international competition.
I see. Yeah. Shaima, so is this your second time or your first?
My first.
Your first. I see. And first time you came with all the butterflies in your stomach, you were nervous, but look at you now. You are the star. You're a celebrity. Like, did you see the lady on TV?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And I know the rest of you as well are looking forward to going. If you're excited about going to India and later to Dubai, just give me a snap. Give me a snap. Okay, that's exciting enough. Let me come back to you, Girish, on this bit. So eventually, the journey is going to start. What next from here?
Okay, so we are leaving on next Thursday, that is to India. We go and compete. There is 2 days competition. 1 day is a competition and next day is the award. And since we are going far, we explore India for a day. We look at all the things India has to offer in a day. And after that, we come to Dubai. A lot of exciting things.
That's where the partying starts.
Party and enjoyment is going on. And we are back on 22nd. So it's a whole 1 week of going out. Children are going to be together, they're going to compete, they're going to do their best, and after that they come back and relax and enjoy in Dubai. And once they are back here, it's holiday and it's Christmas. So yeah, I'm sure it's
going to be enjoyment to enjoyment. They enjoy there, enjoy in Dubai, and then come and enjoy in Ghana. Hey, if we are going to chill, what? That's all good. But tell me, before you take leave of us, so all of these things are happening. What has been the performance of Ghana at the UCMAS? What's the record? I know we do very well.
Ghanaian students outshine. When it comes to world championships, they perform out of their skin. They know that that is a stage. There were times where sometimes some children will be intimidated or get nervous, but now students, the way we prepare them for last few years, I would congratulate all the instructors and the technical team. When they go confidently. Okay, on a global stage, you can see children from US, Canada, UK, India, all countries competing with them, and you see that they are so confident because they know they can achieve what the other students can. So it builds a lot of confidence, it gives them exposure. They meet children around the world and they can see how they are able to compete with them. Right. So it builds that confidence and it's an overall good exposure for children.
All right. So let's look at the next leg after they return. I mean, we have to cap off the conversation, but when they return, what's the next step? Parents who may be thinking, watching us right now on TV and thinking, I want my children to get enrolled in this. What do they do moving forward? When do they do that? Final words.
Right. So you can call us on our number, that is 0245211395.
Could you slow down and mention it?
Sorry. 0245211395.
Last time.
0245 211 395. This is our number. So parents who want their children to learn UC Maths can call us and take the details of the schools which are offering UC Maths. Beware, you have to ensure that these are registered official schools, okay? So you call us and we give you the closest school nearby who's doing the UC Maths program, and then enroll your children, and that will be the start. When children are doing well, then we can look into competitions and they go the global stage.
Thank you. Imranata, final words?
Well, I wish them all the best, and then I also pray that they make us proud. Yes, and then I also urge parents to push their children into the UC Maths. It builds them, and then I can see from my kids, from their performances, I can see what UC Maths is doing for
One thing definitely it will have an impact on is their confidence.
Their confidence.
And that's something.
Yes, and then this competition they are going to, it's also going to expose them.
Right.
Yes.
To the rest of the world.
Yes.
Shaima, are you ready to go out there and win for Ghana?
Yes.
I nearly said kick something, but I can't say that on air. Are you willing to go out there and show them what Ghanaians can do?
Yes.
You show them, right?
Yes.
All right, let's put, great. And high five, guys. I want a high five from everybody. Akoto, Nana, bring it there. Okay, go and make Ghana proud, okay? And those who joined the conversation today, UC Maths, Girish Gurbani, Managing Director of Moria Education Limited, they undertake this exercise, UC Maths in Ghana. Shaima Nunta Nasiru is with the Rising Sun Montessori School. She is going to be one of those who are going to lift high the flag of Ghana. We also had Imranata Jibril, a parent, joining the conversation. Those standing behind, Nana Adom Kusi Apau, Steve Kwesi Asamoah, Amajedua Afram, and Akoto, all of them joining the conversation. While it's 2 days to elections and the electorate is poised to vote on December the 7th, most of them traders who spoke with Joy News say they will be at their polling centers very early to avoid joining lengthy queues. Others also advocate for peace. Hannah Odame and Jennifer August were at the Makola market to gauge the impact of the elections and the preparation for Christmas. You want to enjoy this as we cap off the AM show.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, Chopbox Technology, a convenient service, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gaps for positive youth development. Syntex Tanks, Air Strong, Air Tough, Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate. Deluxe Paints, Paints Mu Champion.
Christmas and 2 days to the general elections. Ghanaians are preparing for both. Most of them who will have started preparations for Christmas, however, say December 7 is their priority now.
I've really prepared for these elections. I wish it was even conducted today. The reason why I'm so excited is because I have the right to exercise my franchise. I think anyone who does not want to partake in this exercise, though eligible, is not a patriotic citizen. Now, so your mamba, when your mamba pay, yes, so be sorry. No question.
It's a peaceful country. I don't think anybody should stock anything. Everything will be fine. After on the 8th, when we are declared, whoever wins, I know who is winning anyway. So when they declare, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine.
So today, what did you come to buy?
I just came to buy small basic things I need at home. The Christmas shopping will come after the elections. Yes, because I know people are shipping a lot of things. I'll come and buy my victory cloth and everything. So for now, I'm just buying basic things I need at home.
We are also heading towards elections. So basically, I want to buy some things down. Then after my party comes to power, I'll come and do the bigger shopping for the Christmas.
Oh, this year the Christmas in the me shaky cry.
and shaking my
for this year, I'm not feeling the Christmas at all. It is not shaking me as usual. It's because of the upcoming elections on December 7th. It has also affected the Christmas. But we are hopeful that after the elections, we'll begin to think of Christmas. I'm so eager to vote on Saturday.
My hair ready, Papa. My hair ready. But by this time, Kwani started too.
Christmas day, we had a shopping. My avatar in tea, say,
Though entrenched and very confident about their party and candidates winning, they all urge peace.
Everybody should go and vote peacefully. After the voting, go home peacefully. After elections, you have to enjoy, just enjoy. Don't tease anybody that will bring misunderstanding among yourselves or anything like that. I think we want peace for our country.
All we need is peace. My elder sister is sick, and there are lots of children in my house. Should anything bad happen, I don't know where I would take them to. So just accept the result, regardless of what it will be, and let's live in peace.
One thing I desire is for everyone to go and vote. Do not cause confusion at the voting centers. Just go home and watch TV. Let's allow peace to reign.
I plead with all Ghanaians to allow peace to reign. Just vote for the candidate you love, and after that, just go home.
From the Central Business District of Accra, I am Hannah Odame for Joy News.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, Chopbox Technology, a convenient service, German Ozone Medical Center, alternative therapy, dental, wellness and beauty, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Youth Break Foundation, bridging the gaps for positive youth development. Syntex Tanks, Aya Strong, Aya Tough, Potential Real Estate, your trusted partner in real estate. Deluxy Paints, Paints Mu Champion.
Your election headquarters. That's what we do here. Sweetie Abochi, you say with it.
Joy News knows how to cover elections. So you want to stay with us. In these 2 days, remaining for us to go to the polls, we'll keep you updated on everything happening in every corner of this country in the lead up to the December 7th elections. But that's our show. I believe Benjamin has something to share before we go.
Well, definitely, I'm sharing with you what Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe and his crew are doing. You know, they have that pact on Galamsey and its impact. And they are actually, at noon today at the International Press Center, they will be delivering those parties that have signed off to it and those that have not. So International Press Center today at noon, they will be there. My name is Christiana Sweetie Abochi.
Our names, Sweetie Abochi and Benjamin Akakbo. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay for News Desk. And we're back on your screens tomorrow. It's a holiday, but we'll be here to serve you. Thank you for watching. Mwah.